Up, everybody? I got challenged by bro to do something. He told
No.
me I couldn't do it, and I told him I could. I told him I would too, and he's like, "You're a liar. You would never do it." So for the whole show, I'm going to be saying a certain word that he thinks I can't say. So I hope he's ready.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
He's the one that said I couldn't do it. Now the
Hey,
question is, does the audience think I should say it? If
no,
bro thinks I shouldn't say it, y'all think I should say it just to prove to him that I can do it?
I don't.
That's the
Hey,
question.
you do you, man. That's all I ever say. You do you. Do you.
Less than hair, you long haired now. That's what I was gonna tell you.
You do you.
So anyway, no Koi today. Koi is out. We're supposed to have not a substitute, but I guess Man of Justice supposed to be on. I sent him the links. If he don't show up, that's on him. It ain't on me. I told him what time. But then again, he is Floridian and 2 shades before midnight, so he might be late just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's his description of him, not me.
I get it.
He said he was 2 shades before midnight, not me.
Yeah,
I agree with him.
He is black as hell.
He is bliggity black.
Bliggity black.
Black. He black.
He's
black.
blurp. He blurple.
He's blurple.
Blurple.
He's blurple. Well, today it is a 70-80% roast session, and 20% we're going to show you just how far the DNC is willing to go to get their propaganda spread.
Mm-hmm.
In actuality, they're not much different than the Chinese. They're really not, or North Korea. They will pay operatives to do, just like with Hillary and the Steele dossier. They'll pay pay people to do stuff. And first up is one individual. We're going to start with the lightweights first, okay, people? The absolute lightweights. And one of the lightest of the lightweights, where is he at?
Intended.
Yeah, I know, right? He's light
Hold on.
skinned.
Is it Polly?
It's Polly.
Yeah.
Oh, it is okay.
Polyamorous is his name. No,
I wouldn't.
I mean,
he might be polyamorous. This dude is.
It's believable. Look at him.
Yeah. Let me
he
get.
might
his,
be polyamorous, but does he really actually follow through with his polyamorousness?
He might in secret. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, this is what we're going to show you first. All right. I'm going to bring up his page on TikTok. This is his page on a TikTok. Okay. TikTok. You see it here? 20,000 followers. Okay. 20,000 followers with only 98,000 likes. Now that should tell you something. Okay. You have that many followers.
Wait. Marlon.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 98.7. I got more than that, and I only have almost 3,800 followers.
Yes.
And my likes count is way higher.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
So let's scroll down. Let's scroll down through his content, shall we? So here we have his videos, and if you look at them, you'll see something kind of rather odd. For someone that has 20,000 likes or 20,000 subs, his videos don't have a whole lot of traction. Now, when you watch this, I'm going to go into one of them, and let's go with already one of the pinned ones. So it has 4,000. Okay.
This young man.
Oh gosh.
Let's pause it real quick. This one has 548 likes and 99 comments for a 5,000 view video. Okay. Now, I don't know the story of them. We're not talking about the content of the video here yet. This is another one, 332. And if you look at the 3,000 views, 4,000 views, 520 and 90, it's always around this number. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is because he does not have any content worth watching, like at all. So let's listen to something. He says he critiqued Biden. So let's listen to his critique of Biden.
I've said this for a long time. I don't like Joe Biden, right? I just know he's miles ahead of Trump. So with that said, what the hell is this? What are we doing here? Okay. Biden has just announced tariff increases on China, very, very significant ones. And I have been a huge critic of the tariffs that Trump put on there because they freaking lost America hundreds of thousands of jobs, billions of dollars in taxpayer money, farmers out of work. Okay. It affected America only in like the worst possible way and had almost no effect on China. All right. And so now, Joe Biden.
Everybody from around.
Really quickly, if I.
Where'd it go?
This young man was a.
Really.
Everybody from.
Joe Biden. I've said this for a long time. I don't like Joe Biden, right? I just know he's miles ahead of Trump. So with that said, what the hell is this? What are we doing here? Okay. Biden has just announced tariff increases on China, very, very significant ones. And I have been a huge critic of the tariffs that Trump put on there because they freaking lost America hundreds of thousands of jobs, billions of dollars in taxpayer money, farmers out of work. Okay. It affected America only in like the worst possible way and had almost no effect on China. All right. And so now Joe Biden is increasing them, not only not getting rid of the tariffs that Donald Trump put in, but increasing them. And here's where it gets even more annoying. Those increases specifically go against the things that he said he was trying to promote and that the left wants. Okay. Raising the tariffs on EVs from 25% to 100%. Okay. Raising lithium EV batteries from 7.5% to 25%. Other battery parts used to make solar panels, 25 to 50%. Okay. This isn't even including all the raises on many, many other things from magnets to graphite to all sorts of stuff. And it has future increases in 2025 and 2026 for similar.
Now, let's make one thing clear before you continue. These are the same people, him included, that was pushing for the Green New Deal.
Yes.
Y'all wanted this. Look, y'all wanted this. Y'all wanted everything to go green. You wanted everything electric. You wanted that. You want to get rid of fossil fuels. You wanted to stop fracking. That's what you wanted. You didn't want us to do anything locally. You wanted us dependent on people like China. That's what you wanted. Now, all of a sudden, they're finding a way to get a kickback from China. You're complaining? That's where you're complaining now? Now that Biden found a way to get money back from China to put in his own pocket, not yours, his, by using the very same thing you agreed to.
I am sending you my medical bill for all the brain rot you're exposing me to.
Good Lord.
You know,
These people ain't real, man. These people
just
ain't real.
listening to him, he sound like a typical leftist. You know, he was just up there pouting and spewing off a bunch of numbers, and he made 0 sense. You know, and this is what they all do. This is mainly him. And for him, he's one of the ones that we're going to talk about today that I cannot stand. Can't stand the guy. Just listening to him there made my brain itch. And yeah, I lost some IQ. I got to go read an encyclopedia or a dictionary after this.
I don't know the guy. But even being exposed to this particular one video, I despise him.
Now they're gonna end up saying that this is all Trump's fault.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, if you remember correctly, that the same person that's now president slammed Donald Trump for even thinking about putting tariffs on China. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
If you're gonna criticize somebody for doing something, maybe don't do it yourself. Just a thought. Don't do it yourself. And then don't also make another deal with the same person to get the same money back, but not to the people that you say you're supposed to be representing.
Oh, like he's doing his job?
Yeah, like the kickbacks you're gonna be getting off of this tariff thing, Mr. Biden, is gonna be interesting, isn't it?
Money. It's gas.
It's crazy. Let him continue his rant.
Yeah, let's see what else he has to say.
He looks pretty
I don't want
passionate.
to do this.
He looks musty.
Conductors and for lithium-ion batteries used in.
Oh wait! Isn't that okay? Again, isn't that what the CHIPS Act was?
That's in every single Tesla.
Isn't that the CHIPS Act? Isn't that what he passed? The CHIPS Act?
Yeah.
Isn't that what Biden passed?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
hold
remember.
on. Let me get this right. So he passed the CHIPS thing, and forcing Americans to have to build around EVs and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Then he imposes tariffs on the people that are making said parts. So we have to get the money from who have to get the parts from, right? It's not American, it's all over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now paying China for the listen to this. We pay China, then we tariff China, but we don't get the money back. The people that put the tariffs on get it. Now, Biden is the only one getting this kickback.
Yes.
Okay. This is not. I hope y'all understand because we're dishing out the same money to them every time to get said EV stuff. I hope people are aware of this. This is a circular effect. This is all money going in circles. And the only person that's really paying out is the American public because they're using tax money to pay for these things. Y'all don't find that kind of weird? If we pay the tax money to do that, right? To purchase these things, and then the tariff comes into where we get the money back, but we don't actually get the money back because it's not going to our deficit. Who gets that money? And anybody care to take again? Who get that money?
The government.
Yeah,
Close.
Oh,
yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, it's definitely not us.
We don't.
But this is what, like you said earlier, this is what they wanted, right? Green, clean energy, Green New Deal. This is what they wanted.
I mean, does this guy even recognize that the very thing that he's complaining about with the this taxation tariff whatnot, the battery itself is a environmental hazard.
Look what someone says. We can't compete with China. That's why the tariffs. We wouldn't have to compete with China if we didn't sell them our damn business. That would be helpful. These clowns.
We wouldn't have to compete with China if we did it ourselves.
Yeah, and we can. That's the crazy part. We can do all this stuff locally. Here's his response. Even if that's the case, which it probably is, why would you tariff goods when consumer pricing is this high? I thought it wasn't. Hold on. I thought Biden's economy was good.
Bidenomics, right?
Get prices and interest rate down first, then worry about competition. But wait, dummy. I thought Biden was miles ahead of Trump and the economy was thriving. I could have sworn y'all been saying this whole year and last year that the economy that Biden brought was miles ahead, like you said, of Trump. Yep. But now you're complaining that we need to fix something. I thought you said it was working. You can't fix something that's working.
Yeah. I thought it was all just a Republican lie. You know, it's Trump's fault for everything. But now you guys are complaining about it.
Ain't that weird?
Makes no sense.
Huh.
But you know, that's leftist for you, man. Leftists just
that's exactly
they make no sense. It's in their DNA. Yeah, it's in their DNA.
It's literally an expansion of Donald Trump's plan with a specific attack on EVs. Okay, yes. This makes absolutely no sense in my mind. Okay,
wait a minute.
We want to be completely, like self-sufficient when it comes to our chips manufacturing with the Chips and Sciences Act. We're not there yet. Okay. We're not there yet. These factories are not up and running. Okay.
Exactly, you absolute bonehead moron.
Oh my gosh.
This is why we told you that the whole CHIPS Act was a cover. But you're too stupid to understand. It's a cover. They're not doing this to try and make American manufacturing better. They are directly paying China for stuff, and you buffoons bought into it. And the easy way to get money back into their pockets is to do this to China, but they're not actually tariffing China to get money back for American population. No. Okay, if I'm paying China, say, easily in the billions for the parts that I need, and my tariffs only bring in millions, who's really making money?
China.
There's more money going out than there is coming in.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're paying them for 100% of the stuff that comes here, and you're only giving them tariffs on 25% of the stuff. What does that tell you? Huh, dummy? You have a 75% offset, don't you? We're still sending 75% of our cash out to China.
Yep.
And how do you save face? By making it look like you're not paying China. Slap a small tariff on them.
Mm-hmm.
But he's supposed to be the economic genius. This clown here in this T-shirt, his wife beater, is supposed to be this economic guru that the left is paying to push these stupid talking points. Him.
Yeah.
Because he caters to the uninformed. He caters to the people that don't understand what Marlon's talking about. So it's easy to just get up there and talk about what he's talking about. Most of his followers aren't going to go and do their own research on what he's saying to see if it is true, see if he knows what he's talking about. They're just going to run with it. And those are the talking points that he gets fed from whoever's paying him to say it. Here, make sure you talk about this. He's getting all his information from an outside source, obviously, but he's not doing the research himself. It's coming from somewhere else. They tell him to feed it. He feeds it, and he gets paid.
And he can't function.
Yeah.
So how are we going to tariff stuff before we're even up and running on our side?
Because it's not on our side. We're trying to get it up and running, you dummy.
There's no money in getting it up and running.
We're not doing it. They have no plans to make America manufacture this stuff.
No.
They lie to you and tell you that's what their plan was with the infrastructure deal. And they've told you, well, yeah, we're going to bring manufacturing. When? How are you going to tell me you're bringing manufacturing jobs back when you outsource everything?
Yep. And why do they outsource again? Because they get a kickback. They get more money outsourcing than they would get doing it in-house. And they know this.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with us. Has nothing to do with our environment. Has nothing to do with
He's
that.
a different level of stupid, bro. Like he is a different, like he on a whole nother platform of clownish.
I mean, he looks like a mouth breather. Look at his mouth. Juicy lips.
I mean, the fact that you can't, I mean, just what is it? Even 2019, that's literally 5 years ago, we were energy independent. Households were making an income average of about $5,000 more under Trump. And this clown right here with his, baby blue wife beater doesn't get it. But now he's complaining about tariffs and low IQ hyenas.
Yeah. This guy doesn't understand what he's talking about, but he acts like he does.
That's just going to increase the cost of everything that runs off of this, like EVs and all sorts of stuff.
What? It's going to do what?
No.
It's going to do what now? Oh, like we told you? So you mean like places like California, where they're pushing to get rid of gas and bring in only EV? You mean the people that live there are going to suffer because of it? Oh.
But Marlon, it helps the environment.
Yeah.
They suffer, but it's helping the environment. They just have to suffer though. But we are saving the planet.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant strategy. Yeah. I can see why you vote Democrat.
Yeah.
I can see why you do it, man. It's amazing. In the words of Jesse Lee Peters, amazing.
Not all.
This is why the real left isn't a huge fan of Joe Biden.
Okay. What?
Hold
on.
Did he just say real left?
The what left?
The real left?
Hang on. The real left are the ones pushing for everything to go green. And Joe told you Green New Deal and you voted for Joe. So you do like Joe Biden, but you're just now realizing that he lied to you. That's why you're salty, but you're too stupid to not vote for him. So you're going to have to still vote for him because you already propped him up. You're already sitting on his mushroom top, so you might as well stay and bounce.
You're bouncing on it. Bang, 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 bang,
and I mean raw, no rubbers. You're just taking all of it. Like kind of like Joe did with his daughter. But I digress. You know what I mean? Y'all are used to that.
Yeah.
Y'all are used to it,
Yeah, raw dogging them. Just raw dogging you, man, for a couple dollars. You done sold your soul to the DNC for a couple dollars to push all these lies and propaganda. You done sold your soul, man.
And they like it.
You're a weird dude, bro. You're weird.
He looks weird. I mean, just look at his face. He probably cries. You want to cry?
China with the tariffs.
China, I'm so mad.
I'm still gonna vote for Biden because I'm a dummy.
I'm dumb because I
But
got
you
Stockholm
you
syndrome.
call Trump supporters clowns for voting for Trump after he's been indicted. Meanwhile, you can complain that this is what he's doing to our economy and to our people, and you still say he's miles ahead of Trump?
Yeah.
All right. But we're the stupid ones. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Not saying we're not going to vote for him.
Like, bro, what? What? Not saying I'm not gonna vote for him, even though he's screwing me. I'm not gonna but I'm still gonna vote for him.
Saying that he is miles ahead of Trump. But it's stuff like this that the Biden administration does, which shows he is just a centrist. In almost every other country, he'd be a Republican. Okay.
But you're still gonna vote for him because he's not orange man bad.
Yeah.
Look. Understand this. This is how asinine people on the left are. This is how dumb and brainless they are. You can literally see and admit that this is killing me. It's destroying the people around me, destroying the economy. It's bad for America. But that doesn't mean I won't vote for him because he's not Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I told you guys, I'm not looking to Donald Trump to be a moral milestone or a plumb line.
Yeah.
I'm looking to Donald Trump to be the fiscal responsible person that he had been for 4 years.
Yep. Same here.
Meanwhile, these people want to hold up Joe Biden as a moral pariah, just this massive guy that's really good at being moral, as well as a brain, but still complain that he does stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not enough to be stupid. You're still going to vote for him because he's not Donald Trump. Meanwhile, he's destroying the same country you say you love. Make that make sense.
And he's been destroying it from day one.
Day one of it. I mean, day one from the time he entered politics, too, not just day one of presidency.
From day one,
it just ramped up during his presidency.
Yeah, he just had more power to do a lot more.
What is it? 90 some odd executive orders in the first 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They don't care though. It's not Donald Trump though. As long as it's anything but Trump, you know.
Yeah.
Now here's he talking about. He's trying to be funny, although he has lost all ability to be funny. But he's trying. It's not. He's about to own his own self, but he doesn't realize because he's going to use a clip of Donald Trump that everybody else uses. And just watch. It's funny. Watch.
The one thing I really can't stand about Joe Biden is like he can't even finish a speech, right? You watch the man have a speech. He can't even put words together. He's just completely too old and just completely out of it.
All done by Biden.
So he brings up a speech because he's trying to be sarcastic, just so people watch. Look.
Oh, is that it?
Carried out by that's right, all being done by him. Carried out by radical Democrats.
It's so ridiculous.
How is it ridiculous? He stopped to talk to the audience, you absolute retard.
Yeah.
Like he literally stopped mid-sentence to talk to the audience and then went right back, kept his train of thought, and went on. Whereas your guy will do this. If you really hold something near and dear to you that you really anyway never finishes his thought process. Nobody knows what he was talking about, and he goes to something completely different. You think you what? You think you got something there? Huh?
That was his gotcha moment.
That was your gotcha moment?
Yeah, that was his moment.
Do we still know what true international depression is?
Still don't know what that is.
Depression.
What about beta calf care? I'm still. No, because Potato had literally said that.
But beta calf care.
I still want to know where the cannibals are at.
I also want to know how much is $1 million billion.
Yeah, $1 million. Yeah. You know what I mean.
That sounds rich. I mean, that's a lot. That's right. How much he got from China?
You know, we hold these truths to be
self-evident. Oh, man,
equal. Okay, right. You know what? Listen here, Fats. Like,
hey, pal. Hey, pal.
Bow.
Hey,
he says bow.
I like it when the roaches feel the hair on my legs, right?
I got hairy legs.
Under the water. I got hairy legs.
Turn blonde in the sun.
Yeah, in the sun. I got arrested during the civil rights.
But Trump's a problem. Watch this part.
ridiculous. The projection that comes from Trump supporters. Like, they literally will sit right in front of your face and be like, Joe Biden can't give a speech. He can't put words together. And then listen to Donald Trump do this and be like, everything's fine here, y'all. Nothing to see here. Okay. He's not using a teleprompter. Like, give me a break, man. Like, they're both.
If you look at take a look at President Xi of China.
What I can't understand about people like this, right? Specifically, the gotcha moments that they think they have no gotcha to it, but they think because it comes a little bit close to what Joe does on his good days, all of a sudden, see, Trump is just as bad.
Yeah.
Now, I would venture to say that you can find for every one example of Trump, maybe perhaps quite possibly making a faux pas speaking, you can find almost 50 with Joe. Easily.
Need I remind you guys, this is the same potato head president that literally looked at a teleprompter and said, 4 more years. Pause.
Yeah. And read it exactly instead of, and what he doesn't understand, like of course he has footage from a Trump rally. So you got to understand an elderly man, and he's elderly. He's 70-something years old, going from city to city, state to state, just boom, 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 flying here, flying there, flying here, flying there. At some point, what kicks in? A little bit of fatigue. He's tired. So, yes, he's going to have a slip up. It's not like Biden, who talks to the people once every quarter, and he has a teleprompter, and he, like Jay said, he reads directly off the teleprompter. Make sure you turn to the right and shake someone's hand. And then, it's just like dumb, dude.
Only to turn to the right, no one's there.
Yeah. The Roomba himself.
The Roomba. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that guy. It looks like Roderick might be here. Hang on 1 second, Roddy.
He's late.
I'll be right. He black.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have black folk time.
Bring him up now. I want y'all to see this. I'll be introducing you in a second here, sir.
Come on.
For all of the talk that Mr. Light Skin Clown that just had, I want to hear him talk about this particular interaction here that Joe Biden had. Please explain, if you watch this, you brain dead, brain rotted piece of, and listen to this and you tell me what happens here.
I tell you what, honey, what I'm going to do, if you give me an address, I'm going to write you a longer answer and tell you the exact things I would do. Okay? Okay? Promise? I'll bet you're as bright as you're good looking. I tell you what. What's your favorite subject? Journalism. Whoa. I better be more circumspect in my answers. Those guys back there. Look, come here. Go ahead, the next question.
I love it. Okay, over here.
Washington Post, New York Times, all these guys. You ought to go back and
watch the hands.
Okay? All right. And by the way, that's one of the things that's a dangerous idea. As these guys will tell you, I'm not always their favorite subject. But the truth of the matter is, the reason we are who we are is called a free press. Continuing to denigrate is dangerous.
What was that?
Continuing to denigrate is dangerous. But mind you, he's talking to a little girl. Let's go back to hear what he said to her face. A little girl, mind you, minor. Okay.
Longer answer and tell you the exact
little.
First of all, he asked for her address. Okay.
Little.
I'm gonna leave that there. A grown man known for fondling children is asking for a little child's address. Okay.
Yeah, take a showers with his daughter.
Okay. Promise? I'll bet you're as bright as you're good looking.
God, gee, so creepy.
If y'all can explain that one to me.
I'd like to see anybody justify it. That's what I want to see.
If y'all can explain it.
Purple.
There is no answer.
Yeah, there's no answer. You can't explain that. We know what it is.
Man, Justice, collectively, you're smarter than all of us put together. What are your thoughts?
That's true. So tell us welcome to the show, by the way, Mr.
He can't even come on time.
Mr. CPT, welcome.
Yep.
CPT 3PO, welcome, sir.
Look, I just got back in from Orlando. It was kind of
man, don't tell me how much you travel. I don't need to know that. I thought black people didn't have ID. How you managed to do that?
Look, bro. I'm one of them special Negroes. You heard?
Oh, you made it out.
I made it all with the plantation, sirs.
You
Mhm.
and you on a computer.
Yeah, I'm on a.
Yeah.
I know how to work a computer.
Yeah.
I can get to the internet.
You know how to get online to get in line.
Yeah, I can get online to get in line for
Huh.
that thing
That
the
thing, the
thing.
thing.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I got to
Oh
get in
my
line for the
gosh.
thing. You heard?
Oh, do you go to one of those www sites? You know how they tell you to put the www?
No, it's like www dot I don't know the internet.org / I am a Negro.com. That's why I go, online.
You know what?
heard?
Hey, look, that is a good idea. We can create a website called www.negro something with the internet.com.
I want to
That's
make
a
that
t-shirt.
website
That's a
now.
t-shirt.
Now I gotta write that. I gotta make that website.
Write it down. It has to be like www.negrointernet.com or something like that.
Negroes on the internet.com.
Yeah, Negroes on the internet. We all like show our laptops smiling like a Pekingese. Like,
No, y'all remember the video, right? Where the dude had the computer on the ground
like
and
a
he was
monkey on the
walking around
ground.
that bitch like an orangutan.
We can
That's
put that as a GIF on the top corner of the website, just in revolver. Like the old days, remember when the internet first came out? Every website had at least one GIF in the corner of the screen doing the same thing over. We'll make an old school website that looks like it just came out in the 90s, and then just put it up there. I think that'll work great.
and everything has to be in 8-bit.
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 That's all we know.
Can do that. We can do that 8-bit. You heard?
Here's another one for the light-skinned monkey to explain. Here we go.
Okay.
Wait, first of all, who's the light-skinned monkey? Wait a minute.
We'll show you in a minute. We'll show you. You'll know who he
You'll
is.
know who he is.
As soon as we show you his face, you'll see it.
I'm going to pay attention to the signer.
And you're going to agree. You'll agree. Watch this.
You know, I'm honored to be joined today by Governor Northam, by two great representatives of the Commonwealth, Congressman Laurie and Congressman Scott. And I want to thank you for all that you do to represent these service veterans, because they're devoted to you. Their family members, survivors, will call Virginia home. I'm especially honored to share the stage with Brittany and Jordan and Nathan and Margaret Catherine. I love those barrettes in her hair, man.
Oh, I bet you do.
Tell you what, look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with like a little lady with her legs crossed.
I got no answers.
I feel sorry for the interpreter.
Wow.
I got no answers, bro.
This man just looked at a little girl and said, with her barrettes in her hair and her legs crossed, looking like a 19-year-old, not an adult woman even, but he didn't even try to leave the teens. This pedophile didn't even try to leave the teens.
Yeah, Marlon, before you show him the light-skinned, monkey, pull up this video I just sent you to your personal chat.
Come on, man.
We're gonna show you who he is. You'll know him.
Y'all gonna make me log out. Y'all gonna make me lose all my online privileges, ain't you? That Joe Byron then gave me. Lose all my online privileges.
Joe Byron. What do you want to toilet Joe Byron?
See, we're not even talking about Joe Biden. We're talking about Joe Byron.
Here you go. You ready for this? Ready for this one?
The hell?
Look,
a little boy, by the way.
Who does this? Explain this.
What?
Tell him to explain this. And he want to talk about Trump. Explain this. Who does this?
Bruh. Anybody even tries to explain that, I'm just gonna go ahead and call them people at 811, 911, 1011, all those 11s on your phone, and have them check in. Right? They need to go check on your boy. You heard?
They can't explain it, and if you show that to them, they won't even talk about stuff like that.
No.
And so this light-skinned poly guy that we're talking about, he's one of the Lemmings.
Well, aren't these the same cats that talked about that movie? What was that Jim Caviezel movie?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. They're the same cats. Oh, that's not real. That's kind of
yep.
That's why it's not real, because they like it. It'd be this guy, sir.
You know him.
Oh shit.
We all know who Polly is.
Him, sir, him. So now this I want you all to see this, right? So he has 20,000 people on his TikTok, right?
Mhm.
You want proof that he has nothing to offer people except for bots? This is his YouTube.
May I interject?
Go for it, sir.
First of all, this individual, and I want everybody in the comments. I can't see the comments right now, what have you, right? But I know they typing away down there, right? I want people to pay attention to something here, right? When you're paying attention to people politically, and you try to understand where they stand, right? You can find the dumbass in the middle of the dumbassery, right?
And
like, for example, this dumbassery, right? Go back to the previous one, the TikTok one, because this one doesn't have it, but this one has it. How are you a progressive liberal?
Thank you.
You can't be a progressive liberal. Progressive is further left than liberal. So how can you be both? You're either one or the other. This is how you know that people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
No,
it's buzzwords, man.
And this is how you know he's a paid, actor.
Oh, he's paid. Oh, he's the light skinned Harry 2.0.
Oh,
yes.
we got
you want proof? You want proof? Look at it this way.
Come on.
This is his YouTube page, right? He puts all his TikTok stuff on here. He has his YouTube advertised on his TikTok. He has it advertised. Yeah. This is YouTube, 151 subs. Look at the views he gets on these things. Let's go to his videos. 28, 12, 12, yep. 20, 28, 12. 2 months ago, 12. On your TikTok, though, when you go live, you have almost 2,000 to 4,000 people in the room. You're telling me, you want me to believe that there are 4,000 people, normal people, actual people watching you on TikTok that can't find their way over to your YouTube channel to support you?
May I?
That's what you want me to believe?
May I?
All right, buddy.
I'm going to err on the side of that he paid for those followers to come into his live, because there's that app out there now that you can pay. You know what I'm saying? They have like 2,000 people in your live, but they're not real people. You know what I'm saying? They just, the numbers go up. And I bet you, I guarantee you that's what he's doing, because it don't correlate.
The math don't math.
Yeah, the math ain't mathing. You're right. It ain't mathing.
Megan said it in the chat. She said bots. Yes, they are bots.
100%.
All of them are bots. And we're about to show you how. I mean, wait for the breakdown.
So here you go. Here is the other guy, Mr. Jones X.
Oh, this guy.
33,000. Y'all
Why
know
not
this
even
one
show
too.
up? Why not even show up?
You know who these guys are, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's listen to one of his videos. Let's see a good one here. Let's find a good one. He tries to dabble in religion, and I went into his live once to ask him to come on my platform, and he didn't want to come for some reason.
Never will.
What do you expect when you have grown ass adults still referring to themselves as crayons? What you think is going to happen?
And we've done this before on the Savage Pages, where we were talking about how a lot of these big TikTokers are scared to leave TikTok to come and debate on a podcast outside of TikTok, because they make money, as someone stated, off of bots, all that paid viewership. That's where their money's at. They're not going to come over to YouTube, because they know they don't have, for one, they don't have their following backing them up as their little flying monkeys. And for two, they're not making any money outside of the follows on
it seems like nobody
TikTok.
wants to say it.
When I hear flying monkeys, I think Barnum and Bailey.
That's exactly what they are.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
you got it 100% right. Sideshows even, okay?
Yeah. Sideshow Bob.
This would be the bearded lady. That's who he would be.
Yeah.
If we were to do a modern day, you know how they like to make everything black, because progressives got to make everything black. They got to make the bearded lady black now. This is the new bearded lady. All right. So let the bearded lady talk real quick, and y'all listen to this one. Yep, this is good. This is really good. You ready? What?
Yeah.
seems like nobody wants to say it, so I'm just.
Oh
say it.
God.
Some of y'all are just white supremacists with black skin.
Oh, you're talking about the pot calling kettle. Oh,
so let me get this right. We are white supremacists with black skin.
Yes.
Pot calling kettle, ain't it? Huh?
Well. I want to break something down, and maybe Man of Justice can correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
Did white supremacists ever view the blacks that work for them as equals?
No.
Okay, good. That's question one. Question two. Did the blacks that worked for these white supremacists ever outlive their usefulness?
Yes, they did eventually.
Okay, good. So question number three. Were the black people that were working for white supremacists allowed to have a different thought than the white people?
No.
Oh, okay. So now let's hear what his talking point is to see if he's matching the white supremacist or he's thinking for himself. Shall we?
And, real quick, Marlon. So he's calling black conservatives white supremacists.
I can assume so. Yes.
Okay, assume. So do black conservatives call other black people names like Coon?
No.
Uncle Tom. Who does that?
The ones working for the white supremacists.
That's right. So they're actually the white supremacists.
Ain't that weird?
Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know. I just,
Would
I've been
that
called
be-
Coon so many times. I mean, I just own it now.
I'm gonna bring up so you do the thing. I don't bring up something. Me and Jay Lee has talked about this, but go ahead, run your thing real quick.
These ain't songs, these is hymns, cause I'm him.
A lot of you know me because you've seen me in a debate or two.
No.
Or
that's actually not why we know you. We know you because you have an annoying face, the kinds of which we would like to fold our fists up with a brass knuckle and absolutely pound into the floor. That's the kind of face you have. And it's not because of what you say, it's how you look.
Beta.
That's why we know you. It has nothing to do with what you say. Although what you say helps us punch harder. But I digress. Continue to tell us why we know you.
So long.
He looks like he cries himself to sleep every night.
Why does his head look so long?
Because it is long.
Sideshow stuff, man. Come on.
Sideshow Bob.
Bearded lady. Never forget that.
The Moon Man from McDonald's. It's mad tonight.
Oh, okay. I get it. He's two things. It's a cross show. It's not just Barnum and Bailey with the bearded lady. He's also Jimmy Neutron. So it's crazy.
Oh.
It's crazy. So he's Jimmy Neutron meets the bearded lady. Like if they had a baby together, this would be blam.
Why is his face so long?
Why is it so spicy? So let's hear what he has to say.
I was going to say something messed up, but I just...
let's hear what he has to say about the black conservative, shall we? Let's hear.
Long.
Several. Well, maybe debate is not the right term.
Oh.
More like bickering. With that being said, you know that I discuss a wide array of topics. From systemic racism to politics, from economics to LGBTQIA+ rights. And in my time on this app, I have had these discussions with a multitude of individuals, people from every walk of life. And when having these conversations, you notice trends. And this one is disturbing. It is my observation that black men are able to recognize when they are the victims of white supremacy.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay. There are three of us on the panel. We're not going to try and minus you, Jay Lee, but by his own description, unfortunately, you are white adjacent, not black adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Roderick, I'll ask you first. Do you find it difficult to live as a black man in your 40 plus years in the United States because of white people?
Well, let's see. I'm going to say that I don't identify with people with crayons because it's a misnomer.
Okay.
Now,
as a American person that's not like the other people that are lighter skinned than you, have you had a hard time living in the darker skin that you possess? By being darker?
I would have to say I have not seen any or felt or witnessed any particular oppression from people that maybe are a little bit lightly melanated than myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, right, I can point you at the system that people are a part of that creates the oppression that are also ran by these some of these dark melanated people along with their co-owners, right, that are of light melanation.
Yes.
okay, that perpetuate the oppression and perpetuity upon all people if you're not of the right think.
Yes.
So hold on. So there is a system of we're gonna break a code here. There is systematic racism, and you know where it is? In the people saying that it exists.
Right, because the people that say that exist complies with the system, right, which is based on legality, not biology, not nationality, right? They comply to the system, but yet they want to say black conservatives, quote unquote, I'm using in context, right, of the conversation, right, are akin to white supremacy, but you're using labels given to you by white supremacy. like what? Like, you can't twist yourself out of that plastic bag quick enough.
It's underwater. That's why you can't get out.
I'll let it go though. I'm gonna let it go. Because I can go in on
broke
that.
It. Are you a victim of said supremacy?
No. And I've never felt it. I consider myself pretty successful. I've never had any white person try to hold me down, but I've had, black liberals try to hold me back.
There was a book written way back in the day, and the name of the book was Uncle Tom's Cabin. And for a long time,
that part.
the lefties and liberals, not the classic liberals, we're talking about the modern day liberals who are actually not liberals. They lie when they say they're liberals. They're just leftists.
The progressive ones.
If you look at progressive, if you look at a liberal would have been what we consider a conservative today. Okay, just get that part clear. But I digress. When you look at it and Uncle Tom's Cabin, there was a lot of talk about people who on the conservative side that were called Uncle Tom. What that proved is that, one, they never read the book. They looked at the cover. And two, they were told about certain snippets from the book and still never read it. However, if they had read it and they got to around page, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 9 or 10, maybe 8, 9, and 10, somewhere in there, you encountered a character. This character's name was Sam. Now, if you're not familiar with Massa Sam was a Negro. He was also part of the plantation. However, Massa Sam had one very, very different viewpoint. You see, Massa Sam was one of the guys that would be the intermediary between the slave master and the rest of the slaves. He would be the ones to observe said slave master and go and speak to the slaves the same way Massa did, except he had more sway because he looked like the slave. And whenever a slave ran away, Massa Sam would be the one who would lead the charge to go find them. And when he went to find them, in order to make everybody think he was doing a good thing, he said, this is what he said, he would be the one trying to delay the capture, not avoid it and make them get away, just delay it long, give you a chance to run away, and I'm doing you a favor. He would go back, and for his efforts, he would be rewarded with more food and the effort to be able to talk above everybody else and live in a different location. Now, I pointed this out before if you've watched the Too Strong video. It is no different, hear me out, no different than today, where you have Democrat-run cities, because let's be honest, they were slave masters. They're Democrat-run cities held by a single or double white people who are actually hating of black people, and they bring up a certain amount of black people to speak directly to the black people to keep them in the ghetto. Days, Massa Sam's. And you're looking at one right now in this Jimmy Neutron, bearded lady wannabe guy here. He is a house Negro.
And there's a very special way that they do it. It's very slick, right? This is why I don't agree with the term the black community. So they frown upon any black person becoming successful and leaving somewhere else outside of what they consider a black community. So they want you to stay in these poor communities to keep you poor. They don't want you moving out. So they're, the black community, and that's these people like this, these black liberals that live in their mansions. They don't want us leaving, or poor black people. They don't want you leaving. And it reminds me of Jeffrey, or what's her name? Jeffrey. Who is that? On that nail?
So Stephen,
you
You mean I don't like to use the term, but I'm gonna use it, right? It's not actually Stephen, but we know the name that came out of white supremacist rhetoric, right? Step and fetch it, right?
Step and fetch it, yep. Yep, that would be this guy. That'd be this guy.
That's where that comes from, right? But I want to bring something else up too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are familiar with the lost cause ideology, right?
Yes,
the lost cause of the Civil War, right? Basically said that slavery was good, right? And all the people of like kind need to stay together, right? Because that lost cause ideology was one of the catalysts to Jim Crow, was one of the catalysts to the black codes, right? So now we have these people, just like you explained, they present so-called black folks in front of other black folks, right? To keep them in ghettos or keep them in certain circles so they can target them with impunity. I mean, look what Margaret Sanger did with the black preachers at the turn of the century. Look what the Fabian socialists did back in the early 1900s to the original civil rights movement, the Niagara movement, with Booker T. Washington, W. Du Bois, right? Look at what they got all these dark melanated folk together and said, we're going to keep you here in perpetuity. We're going to target you in perpetuity. We're going to separate you from the rest of the country. We're going to tax you for wanting to vote. And then you have jokers that run around here with the same skin tone that spew the same thing, but in different context. And people like, oh, no, it's right. No, the system created that, and you're complying to the system. That's why you're complaining that it is racist, because you're complying with the system.
I hope everybody in the chat is taking notes.
The lost cause ideology created the system of race, going back to Bacon's Rebellion, right? 1766. I mean, 1667. I'm sorry, my fault. Going back then. We're just looking at it manifest in real time right now.
Boom.
Let drag queen continue. I mean,
is it drag? Stop that,
RuPaul. Let
RuPaul stop. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop.
Let Wendy finish. He looking like Wendy with a beard.
Let Buttertone RuPaul continue here.
Buttertone,
bruh. Before you play it, where in the hell did you come up with butterscotch RuPaul? Is that what you said?
Buttertone.
RuPaul? Buttertone. I don't know what.
Buttertone RuPaul. Let him continue here,
bruh.
Maybe he has something intelligent to say. Perhaps. Let's hear.
However, they are unable to recognize how their behaviors and actions towards women and those in the queer community are rooted in white supremacy.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh my God.
Black men.
Back. Wait a second. Wait. I thought we were talking about black people.
Wait a minute.
Were we not just talking about black? Did he not just talk about black people?
I'm going to ask you for now on, do not stop it, because every time he says a sentence, I have a whole historical lesson on what he's saying is categorically and historically false.
But how did we go from black people to gay people?
But Marlon, we did. But watch this though, Marlon. The whole shits with the whole I guess queer community comes from rooted in white supremacy, because Adam Kinsley was white supremacy.
But not just that. This goes back to book breaking.
And then they went into where so-called Black America to instill this belief, because back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, you could not be queer and be white, but you could be queer and be black and be okay. Hear what I'm saying?
Listen, this goes back to buck breaking. This goes all the way back to he is actually parroting the idea of buck breaking to be a good thing. How do you think they tried to make and break up families in the black diaspora? If you want to use it, black diaspora during slavery. They would do what to the black man? And what are you pushing now? You're trying to equate black people in slavery to gay? Okay, you know what? I didn't want to bring it up yet, but I'm going to bring it up now. Let me try and remember where he's at. He's at 44 seconds. Okay, 44 seconds. Y'all familiar with the root?
Right. I mean, if you read anything from Mr. Kinsey, you would understand exactly what happened. There you go. You don't understand exactly what happened. Go ahead, brother.
Gay history is black history.
That part.
I remember reading this.
All of that.
LGBTQ African Americans have always been here. Drag queens and kings, dykes, homos, gender non-conforming, same gender loving, queer and trans folk populate our history and have foundational and have been foundational to every single emancipatory movement we've ever had.
See how they did that, right?
You understand what they're okay. Let's do a little history lesson here real quick. And I know Man of Justice can chime in on this particular point because it makes sense. Back in the day, and I mentioned it already with the buck breaking. When Massa was trying to do what Massa needed to do to make a black man conform to his doing, the best way would be to humiliate him.
Correct.
Okay. How do you humiliate a black man? You take away his masculinity. And what do you do with him? You rape him in front of his family. Okay? Buck breaking. Hence making him what? Gay.
Gay.
Now you push the exact same thing, and they have black people in charge of this, promoting the ideology that you have always been gay, and it is part of who you are. So you can't have a separation of black and gay. They are one in the same. The exact same thing that the slave masters did to you in slavery. And this bald buffoon sits up there and tries to equate you, black man, as a homosexual, and it should be okay with you to be buck broken by people like him.
Watch this. I'm going to add some more to that, right?
Bro.
Look, even coming down the pipe through history from slavery down through, 1870s, 1870, 72, 73, right? They passed Massa passed the torch, right, to dark melanated women, right? And they continue, because look, we have never seen this many quote unquote alternative lifestyle. I'm not going to use gay because there's many different alternative lifestyles under that umbrella, because we're going to cover the plethora, right, of black men. Even now, where you got professional athletes wearing dresses on basketball courts, you heard? You hear what I'm saying? This is all done. Master passed this emasculation down through black women, down to the point where Margaret Sanger even got in the ear and said, well, if that baby is going to be gay, you might want to abort it. Right? This system, and the way these people follow this system in perpetuity, right? They just changed the language and changed the method. And then they said, oh no, stop.
Well, I find it interesting too that you mentioned the notion of co-opting black women to join the feminist movement, which ultimately became part of the homosexual agenda. That it was Cosmopolitan who couldn't sell their highfalutin every woman is a baddie lifestyle, and so they needed black women to be able to perpetuate that message at the black community, selling feminism to the black community through the women. And then you have government welfare programs, on top of Margaret Sanger's already in place eugenics program.
Well, go back, and you can actually, everybody can look at it. That's in the comment section, what Jay Lee's talking about, what Brother Marlon just talked about, and I kind of added in there. Go back to the Harlem Renaissance and see what was happening during the Harlem Renaissance, right? Because one of the key figures of the Harlem Renaissance was who? Langston Hughes. You know who Langston Hughes is, right? Y'all know who he is. He was very well known, but he was also of the alternative lifestyle. He led the Harlem Renaissance.
I'm looking for a video of this black woman saying that if she ever got pregnant and found out that it was a male, she was going to abort it. Dang. Now, please tell me where she would have gotten that mindset. Tell me where you have ever seen white women saying the same thing. You don't, do you? No. Nope. Why have you not seen that? Because, and I'm sorry to say this, and for all intents and purposes, I know that I am not white. Crayon, whatever you want to call it. However, I'm also not stupid like the ones who believe that that is a solve to any of your problem.
Right.
Okay, if you decide that, I'm having a male, now here's the thing, you tell me it's not a child, but you can tell me it's a male. This is how stupid you really are. And I do mean stupid in every facet of that word. Any extent stupid could get to the point where you've been brain dead for years, or you were on the short bus since birth. That gamut of stupid is what you are, to think that you can't say it's a child, but then you want to tell me it's a male and you're going to kill it. So you know for a fact that you are committing murder.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter because it's a black male. And people like this jack monkey buffoon, bald-headed, bearded woman, faggot guy here wants to tell you that it's completely okay to accept the homosexual agenda in order to make sure that the black man never makes it.
Yep.
Because
that's what this guy is telling you. It's okay to kill the next generation of men unless they turn out like him, a rump ranger.
He said a rump ranger. Jesus,
right? This
Christ.
dirty little fanny bandit fudge packing piece of crap here.
Fanny bandit.
Him.
And we've talked about
the same people. These are the same people that would have been gladly buck broken.
Oh yeah,
would have bent over for Massa and said, "Please plow me now."
And we've talked about this before on the Savage Patriots. I think MLJ was on the show where we talked about how they tried to add the gay rights movement and tie it in with the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Yep. They made it all into one movement for a reason. There's a purpose.
This one is content with it.
Right. And here's the thing, right? With that, this is how you know, right? These people do not understand their status at law. Because again, y'all have heard me say it before, and many people have heard me say it on TikTok and on Facebook and on the radio, right? If you have constitutional rights, why do you need civil rights? And the fact that you're trying to merge gay rights or whatever, right? Gay rights, all that stuff into civil rights tells me that this is a government ploy.
And it's the same one. It's the same one telling that there is one. That's the crazy part. And they're making you look over here. This is the government ploy. Meanwhile, they actually have the ploy is you believing that the ploy you're looking at is real. The real ploy is you believing that the other ploy they're pointing to you at is real. Meanwhile, you're already involved in the real one.
Right.
Yep.
That's how dumb you are.
That's the psyop. That's the complete psyop.
And you know, one other thing before we get back to this video is you know, when you talk about like laws like the anti-lynching law that they passed a couple of years ago, why do you need an anti-lynching law when murder is already illegal? So why do you need that?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? They just throw all this stuff around and we don't need it. Like MOJ said, we don't need it because everyone has a constitutional right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. We don't need all these other things to tell us.
Yeah,
it's illegal to lynch someone. Okay, it's yeah, it's no.
You think?
Look, I just
no duh, Sherlock. Tell me something I don't know. Let's hear how far this moron gets to.
Oh no.
That black men are able to recognize when they are the victims of white supremacy. However, they are unable to recognize how their behaviors and actions towards women and those in the queer community are rooted in white supremacy. And when presented with this very real and very well documented information, they act as if you're speaking a foreign language.
Because it's not documented anywhere whatsoever. In fact, the complete opposite is documented everywhere. Everything all the way going back to the welfare state, black men have been the victims every single time to people like you, white supremacists, and to black women that buy into the crap you're talking. Every time it's been the black male that has been at the bottom of it. Every time.
The masculine black male.
Every single time. They've either been the ones first, and this is what they'll do. They'll either be the ones to be emotionally damaged by killing the family that they love, or they'll be the ones to be physically damaged by being cut up or being raped or being left alone and sold off. This is what it's always been. And you are the clown buying into the exact same thing that for years here in America and everywhere across the world where slave has been involved with black people, that has happened. It is not, it's not even remotely close. So what numbers are you looking at where women and LGBTQ are the most abused? Who's the most represented in jail? Huh? Who's the most represented in the grave right now because of killing?
Well,
who?
Well, even add to that, right? We know the answer. It's even add to that, right? Let's look at. I mean, let's. I mean, if we just go back just a little bit, right? 1493, right? Let's just go back to 1493 a second, right? The Inticata Terra Papal Bull put out by Pope Alexander the 6th, right? After Columbus discovered the West Indies, right? What'd they do? They came over to the Caribbean islands, right? You know this, Marlon. This is part of your history too, right? Then what happened? Now, here's where people get confused about the slave trade, right? All of these native people, Ottawa, Taino, Ignati, all these people in the islands, right? All these people in the islands. And you mean to tell me that disease took those islands out? It's documented that a lot of these native people were turning into eunuchs. They could not reproduce because they wanted the islands. St. Kitts and Nevis is the epicenter of the whole damn thing. This is why they don't tell you that Alexander Hamilton is quote unquote a biracial man.
Right.
His mother Scottish and his father was from Nevis.
They don't tell you plenty of things.
Right.
They don't tell you exactly how Haiti got into the situation they got into now.
Exactly. Correct. Right. And they deny people of understanding this. Right. So when we talk about quote unquote the black man, the dark melanated man, the oppression started with Pope Alexander VI, but you don't see people like him talking about the Portuguese or the Spanish racial caste system that they brought to the Caribbean islands to start it all in perpetuity. All of it.
It worked.
It worked 100%. And you got guys that are very light-skinned that don't understand what his they will call ancestors went through. Whole family bloodlines cut off.
Someone brought up something about his shirt, and they're right.
Oh, yep.
Ooh, he's a pedophile. I'm gonna say it. You're wearing pedophilic colors, bro.
Oh,
so you may not. While you may not practice pedophilia, you are promoting it. I'm gonna say it again. You may not be one, but you're promoting it, which puts you in the same category in my world as one.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. Maybe just be careful what colors you pick to wear in your little gay shirts. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
If you touch children, you touch children. Your shirt says you do. Your shirt says you touch children. And I hope you hear this and try and put another lawsuit on me like RC Dub said he was going to do. Y'all, maybe y'all can go around. Maybe y'all can go in like cahoots and do a civil lawsuit against me or something. I'm just going based on what you present to me. Based on how you look, how you talk, how you dress, you represent to me, you're a pedo. You touch kids. You presented it, bro. I'm just reading.
I mean,
this is on you. Maybe next time don't put them colors out there.
I can't unsee it now.
Yeah, I know, right?
This look like it would be a mugshot when you get picked up for touching kids in the mall.
It does look like a mugshot.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if I found out about it later too. Anyway, continue your stupid diatribe about how black people and gay people are the same.
Oh,
they ask you questions like, who was talking about race? Or what does white supremacy have to do with this? And in my honest opinion, I think they know. But even worse than that, they reject things like books, science, a college education or degrees, sociology, psychology, but most importantly, our roots.
Our roots.
Who we are and where we came from. And their responses typically sound like this. That's just common sense, man. It's traditional. That's just facts. Well, common sense is based on one's perception of the situation.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Therein lies your problem. You have no common sense, hence why you don't know why common sense exists, and you don't know why it's called common sense.
And how many people follow this guy again?
20,000 on TikTok.
33,000.
33,000 people follow this guy. So there's 33,000 window licking smooth brains that sit here and listen to this guy. Well, not a full 33, not
probably 5,000 of it.
Yeah, maybe 5,000 people that buy into this.
Yes, Captain. My captain.
I would like to bring up the fact that he considers getting a degree in a soft science education. I want to bring that up because soft science is not proven science. It's theoretical science.
Right.
Just saying.
So if you're being educated by, again, I'm going there. I got to go there. You're going to educate yourself, right? In their system of soft science is, remember, the same type of soft science that came up with drapetomania, right? You know, the fear, and those of you that don't know what drapetomania is, it came as a pseudoscience, soft science that came out of slavery, and it meant to mock so-called slaves that wanted freedom. It was a mental disorder to want freedom if you were a slave. This is the same soft science he's saying to be educated by. I want people to think about that a second.
Mind you, it's the same one that the FBI and CIA used to call people conspiracy theorists.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Just so you know, and you know who they were using that against? The white freedom fighters. The white freedom fighters, who were actually one that the lineage came out of the Civil War and all of those things. Those white people that sided with the free blacks were the ones that were cast as the crazy people, and they were doing something completely contrary to human nature.
Even killed John Brown.
That is your science and your intelligence there, Mr. Baldy. Look like you glued a piece of mop to your head, you dummy.
He looks like Bert.
Hey, Bert.
No, he looked like Bert if Big Bird took a dump on his head.
Hey, Bert.
Hey, Bert.
Stupid individual, man. This look, he will be the last one we talk. Now, Friday we'll have a whole lot more. I had 2 or 3 more people to get to.
Come on. I won't stop no more.
But man alive, there are so many of them. It's not even. But I want to finish with him simply because I have another show to get to. But I want to finish with him. Listen to the rest of this.
Or the colloquially accepted perception of the situation.
No, common sense means that it is natural to know. It's common.
Yes.
Not to just a colloquial place or to a cultural. It's common. Let's give you a little example. It's common knowledge that if you stub your toe, it'll damn hurt. Is that cultural, dummy? No. Is that science?
Yes.
You stub your toe, it hurts. It's common knowledge. You're not going to walk around and say, well, it won't hurt me. Well, someone like you might do it. It won't hurt me. Kaplow. And then it hurts you. You're like, I didn't know. That means you lack common sense. I didn't think for my culture that would hurt. I'm of a different culture. I didn't think it would hurt me.
Hey, like common sense would be. You remember that whole thing that was going around with people buying the little cups of coffee from McDonald's and they got sued because it was too hot. And then McDonald's started putting it's hot on the cup because why did they put it's hot on the cup? Because people lack common sense. Common sense would tell you that coffee is hot.
Golly.
So now they had to put something on there because common sense ain't so common to a lot of people.
Megan, I've invited him. Please tell him to hit me up on my inbox. He ain't done it yet. Okay, just so you know.
We need Mike. We need Big Mike on. If we had Mike and MOJ on,
not to be conflated with the other Big Mike. Okay, this is the white Big Mike, not the black Big Mike. Okay,
Professor
not the black Big Mike.
And much like tradition, I have to ask the question: where did we get these traditions from, and whose sense is it that is common? And furthermore, what are your facts based on? Because when we don't accept science or college education or books or the news for the basis of those facts, then are they even facts?
What? You see? Do you see? Do you see? He is telling black people the news is who you should be listening to. Don't do your own research.
Nope.
You go to college for other people to tell you what to learn. That's how you learn, not do your own research. And you have to listen to the people that say science is science. So when science changes their minds and tell you a man's a woman and a woman's a man, you need to listen to science.
Or that your vaccine-ish
works.
Jab.
Yeah. This is exactly how they get you.
Listen to Massa.
You want to go back further to the slave? Here it is. This is how they would come to you. There's nothing good for you out there, boy. You got it real good here on the plantation. You just don't know how good you got it. There are tons of slaves out there that get whooped every day. You only get whooped but once a week. You got it real good. And then, yes, sir, master, I didn't mean to step out of the line. I understand you treat me real good, sir. You was real good to me, sir. You was real good. I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to tell the rest of them folk exactly how to do it, sir. I'm going to do it for you, sir, because you treats me real good. You gives me more than just a few crumbs. You give me like 8 or 9. I could go a whole 2 hours on the food you give me. Same thing. Think how I tell you to think. Otherwise, there's something I want to call you as a name.
Yep.
You see how they've not run very far from the plantation. It's always the one like EW, right? W.E. Du Bois. They're always the ones that are mixed.
Yep.
Always the one that got a little hint of the racist in them, coming to tell you about being black.
Come on.
Always the one that looks like this, right? Obama, Kamala.
Oh.
You don't realize that yet?
Right. Here's the funny
Booker?
thing, Marlon. Right. Here's the funny thing, right? Those quote unquote light skin, light skin, dark melanated folk persons, whatever you want to call them, right? Are the same people that call Booker T a bootlicker.
Well, thank you. Thank you. When he was an actual slave, meanwhile, Du Bois was an actual rich white fathered child, right?
Yep.
Never
100%.
experienced slavery. Never. Was a Marxist.
Right. I mean, look, I mean, if we even go just on the baseline of what you're talking about here real quick, I ain't gonna overrun it, right? But when we talk about the Niagara movement, right, that was the first civil rights movement this country ever saw. And it was a conjunction, it was a collaborative effort between Booker T and W. Du Bois, right? What did the Fabian socialists do? Told W. Du Bois, if you want the money to start this movement, this organization, you got to distance yourself from Booker T. What did he do? He distanced himself from Booker T, and guess what came after he distanced himself from Booker T? The formation of the NAACP.
That was started by who?
After that happened.
Who was this started by? A bunch of what?
Fabian
White
socialists. Right. It's a Fabian socialist. Right. They're quote unquote what we call light melanated white people, right? Would call them, that told him to get away from the guy that thinks independently of thought, created universities for he ever met W.E. Du Bois, and said, you got to get away from him because he's a threat to us. And even the same doctrine today, the NAACP, as it was back then when W.E. Du Bois founded it, is the same Fabian socialist Marxist type ideology has been all the way down here to 2024. Come on.
Simple. But nobody want to hear that. That's actual history that you can go back and watch. It's still on microfiche too, in case you may not know what that is, you little dummy. You want to use Google. You see, the problem with Generation X is that we grew up when you actually had to go and do the legwork
at a library
and research thing at a library, and you can actually see, because I remember people tell me the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen, when I can go back and actually go out in my town and see one of the ships, and you can go onto the ship and see all the handwritten logs. You didn't even have to go. They kept it preserved on the ship.
Right.
And they told you all the routes, all the count, all the losses, where they stopped, how long it took.
Yep.
All of it. They told you. So don't come and tell me that it didn't happen. Oh, trust and believe it happened. And you know what? America wasn't the first place populated. It wasn't the first stop neither.
Nope.
The Caribbean was.
Yep.
90% of the slaves y'all got up here, y'all got from down there.
Yeah. They were trafficked up because America, the United States, well, the colonies, right? The English colonies, right, were they got the least amount of people from the transatlantic slave trade. It was like 330,000. They got the least amount. The Caribbean, y'all got overloaded 1.92 million came there.
They ain't gonna tell you that,
but nobody talks about that.
And they perfected all of the torture methods down there. Y'all didn't get 70% of them. Y'all didn't get 30% of them.
Nope.
You got one main one that you keep harping on this, and you want to create a rule. Lynching. That was the one you got. One. Y'all didn't get the sawn and quartered up here. You didn't get the flaying. You didn't get the skinning.
Nope.
Right? You didn't get that. You didn't get the degloving.
Yep.
All of this happened, by the way. You didn't get the finger pulls. Right? You didn't get the dog seeked on you. Not because you're running.
Right.
Because you're in your own home. You didn't want to come out to work. They'd set the dogs on you in the house.
Oh, let's don't talk about the castrations. Let's don't
you
talk
didn't get
about
all that.
castrations.
You didn't get all that.
No.
You don't know the half of it.
No.
You don't know the half of
they
it.
don't.
They don't want to know that, though.
Just crazy to me. Anyway, let the moron finish.
Oh, go ahead.
Or are they just opinions? Because it seems like your facts are based solely on your personal experience. And your personal experience is arbitrary, much like racism. So at this juncture, there's two options. Listen and learn, or move out of the way, because you're not helping. And just a friendly PSA.
Okay.
I'm not going back and forth with y'all, but I am willing to educate.
How are you going to educate if you don't go back and forth? You see how stupid you sound? I'm not willing to go back and forth. Just listen to what I say and we'll be okay. Great teaching way there, buddy. You're a great teacher. Now, hear me. If you're not willing to go back and forth because you hold so dear to your viewpoints, then do not call yourself an educator.
Yeah.
Or a debater.
Okay. Yeah, you're not that. I will give you an example of me. I run a podcast where I tell people this is my viewpoint and no one's going to shake me from my viewpoint. We can have a debate about my viewpoint and your viewpoint, but please understand, before you start your viewpoint, you're not going to convince me to change my viewpoint. I will listen to your viewpoint, and other people around may be influenced by mine or your viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal of our conversation is not to change my mind. That's not changing. We can have the conversation and other people can change their minds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's your viewpoint, feel free. But you can't come to me and tell me that you're trying to educate me while not trying to listen to me.
That's how it works with them.
You look, y'all are some weirdos.
You need to go read Socrates, man, and understand how debate works. And he doesn't. It's just his way or the highway. And if you don't listen to his way, and if you don't take it, you're uneducated.
But that's not a debate.
That's not,
bro. That's not a debate. You know what I'm saying? That's an argument, right? Because most of these people cannot, like, I can't tell you how many times I've offered to actually debate someone. Right. And it's like, don't tell me what the pundits have told you. Don't tell me what the newspaper told you. I want you to come with your opinion, what you believe based on the information you have found. And you need to present that to me. Right. People can't do that. They want to argue for the sake of arguing other people's talking points. That's not a debate. That's an argument on someone else's fact.
Right.
And you're just being the mouthpiece for that person.
What is it? It's the thesis, the antithesis, and the what's the other word on it? It's the third part. Synthesis. So you got the thesis, your point, then you got the counter, the antithesis, then you come together and you try to figure out how both your points make sense, pretty much.
Right. That's correct.
Because you both could be wrong.
All over. Yeah, and it starts all over again. Every time you know. A lot of them don't understand that. They don't want to hear the antithesis. All they care about is the thesis, their point. I don't care what you have to say. Right. It's not a debate. They're arguments.
Right. That's exactly correct. That's why I don't even get on, come to this beta. No, because you're not going to like what I'm going to say, and you're not going to be able to counter it because you haven't fully researched. You just followed CNN and MSDNC and all those other places.
Right.
It was good.
The flip side to this is this, right? What they consider a debate. Let's talk about in the realm that they're talking about. Since we're not mentioning religion, okay, because religion is a whole different ball of wax all by itself. Because that is completely hinged on faith and belief. There's nothing to prove or disprove about religion in reality when it comes to God. There's no proving or disproving the people to the point where you can bring tangible food. So we're not talking about that. Let's go from the aspect of what he is talking about, the moron. There is tangible, historical, written, hard copy proof to completely dispute his points of view. There is tangible, hard copy proof scientifically to disprove that being black is not synonymous with being gay.
Right.
Okay. There is tangible, hard, leveled, written down on rock, stone, in some places, proof that the system that you're telling me exists that should be keeping every black person down is actually pretty weak because it doesn't keep every black person down. And in actuality, the more you tell me it keeps me down, you are in fact living out the very same thing you tell me exists over me.
Yep.
So watch this, Marlon. I'm going to ask you, since you're Trini, I'm going to ask you. I don't know what the answer is going to be, but I want everybody to hear the answer, right? Why are dark melanated folks on this landmass we call the United States seem to be, quote, for lack of better words, lacking behind the Caribbean dark melanated person when they come to this country?
I can tell you two reasons why.
Go ahead.
I'm just one.
Tell them.
And this has been the case. It's not, unfortunately, this is changing now in the Caribbean too. And I'll tell you why that's changing. But first of all, the family is of more importance than the individual in the Caribbean. It is pushed, and I mean pushed heavily. Yes, there is a counter where they tell you just to go and have your fun, have your fling, screw you on a screw and have the kids or whatever. But the majority of people in the Caribbean for forever have pushed family, mom, dad, same home, same
Yep.
dad, same kids, all of it, right?
Yep.
And they also push that if you don't have your education, you'll have nothing to fall back on.
Right.
You want to go play basketball, you want to play football, feel free. Get your education first. And when we said education, we don't mean go get indoctrinated at school. Our education was a completely different thing, because when I was growing up, it wasn't just one source. We didn't pick one source and tell you this is the only source. We showed people how to learn. Education back then, or back in the Caribbean, was how to learn. Not to learn one thing, but how to learn many things and then decipher for yourself what was real and true and what was a lie.
Correct.
And that what helps you in life and what doesn't help you in life. When we come to other places and realize, wait, we have opportunity that we never had back home, you know what we end up doing? Running with it.
Yep.
And there was nobody that can step in front of us. We grew up thinking you never go to college because you're just not in that position. We knew what we were. We knew we were poor. We were not told college is the goal. You finish your high school, get what you need to get, learn how to live. And then if you can go to college, go. But if you don't, at least you have a profession where you can make money and make ends meet.
Exactly.
Come to a place like America where the opportunity is endless. Look, we will run. When we tell you we run. You can't stand in front of us. Ain't nothing you can do. We will take off and we will blow the hinges off this bitch. Watch us.
Yep.
You don't understand. Now, the flip side is that when I went back home this last year, every aspect of culture has been permeated by Black culture, American Black culture. They don't have any other alternative news on TV. Like he said, if you don't watch the news, it's all CNN and all MSNBC on every news network. Every last one of them. It's CNN and MSNBC. No other alternative, nothing, no facts coming in. So the nation has now been indoctrinated to think exactly like Black America. I went down there and I showed them some video. People who have been friends with me for a long time. I showed them video of Joe Biden. I have never seen that video.
Yeah.
You have what? I have never heard him say any of those things. What? Like, yeah, all we see down here is what Trump said. And then they'll show me a video of what Trump said. And I bring them the real video. And they're like, but that's not what the video I showed you says. I said, exactly. Now, I say that to say this. When we look at the culture here, that they call culture anyway, the Black American culture, when they tell you that you are systematically oppressed, that there's an entity out there willing for you to just stay down and be forever down and you'll never make it, and that the only way out is to accept the fact that you will never make it out. Make that make sense. That is now the new culture. And when people, even the Africans that come over here, the reason why they don't like them, this is why Africans don't like you Black Americans. And I don't mean you, Roger, because you made it out of the bubble. Or you, Michael. But the clown Black Americans, you know why you can't make it and why Africans hate you? Is because they see the amount of crap that you have at your disposal and you're too damn lazy to do anything about it.
Yep.
You sit there and you smoke your weed and you're Black and Miles and you're Paul Mall and you drink your 40 and you listen to your stupid rap music and you go slap some Black girls behind and you shake your booty in the street and you listen to Sexy Red and you listen to all these stupid rappers tell you how to go to jail and you think street credit's the way to go. You live your life like a complete moron and then they come over here and take the opportunities you don't want. You don't want it. They go to the same schools you go to and somehow make it. Explain that one to me. What if they're just smarter than you? No, they are looking at opportunity and saying, none of that's going to matter to me. I'm going to take it and run.
Would you say then it's about culture?
No.
No. You know, on Marlon's point, I want to go back that Black Americans and a lot of Americans, not just Black Americans, we consider trauma culture. This is why a lot of the trauma that Black people have gone through, they take that as culture, and that culture is what they pass down to generation and generation and generation. And you should never go outside of that culture, or you're going to be frowned upon. But stop calling trauma culture because it's not culture.
Watch this though, Brother Kitch. How did we go from Jim Crow, where unity was a must, even unified to a point where these people felt like they were not part of the United States, created their own song to represent them because they felt disenfranchised, right? To not even 20 years after Jim Crow were dispersed, not even 20 years. How did that happen?
Willie Lynch. Willie,
Willie, the Willie Lynch letter, if y'all haven't read it, y'all need to read it. But that's the thing, though, right? How do you go from an era of time where unity was a must and everything was everything, contrary to everybody's popular belief on Jim Crow, right? Except for a couple incidents. And then we get to a point where there's no unity. There's no community formation to buy the corner store, right? As a community, right? And then at the same time, right? Those same dark melanated folks just north of me, right? Just north of Atlanta up there started Freedom, Georgia. And everybody said, you're a big segregationist. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought this was about freedom. I thought this was about liberty. I thought this was about doing your own thing, like unifying. Now you don't want to unify? Come on, man.
I mean, a wedge has been driven, but especially in Black America, what we would consider Black. I hate using terms like that. They've put us all up against each other. You got the lower class Blacks. They hate the middle class. The middle class Blacks. Some of them hate the upper class Blacks. And then if you go outside of what's considered Blackness in America, you're frowned upon. You're called all the names that I said earlier. So it's just wedge, but you don't really see this in other races. It's always the melanated race.
Come on.
It's always us. Oh, if I'm considered a Black conservative, but I get frowned upon by a Black liberal. So you can't make it, and it causes this divide within the Black community, because now you get people like myself, Marlon, and others are like, I don't want nothing to be part of that. I'm not part of your community, like Jesse Lee says. I'm not part of that community because I don't want to be a part of it. And that's part of, that's the divide that is created. And this is what they want.
You remember when these people start coming forward, and you asked Roderick about how did we get to that point, right? This is I think how we partially got there. We got there when we started to, some of these people started to believe that the ones put over them, these overseers, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, these overseers were put into place, and I'm sorry, MLK, were put over us to tell us exactly what they could do for us instead, and mind you, do for us with the help of, instead of do for us ourselves.
Yep.
This is very vital. Listen carefully to how they did it. I will tell you, and Joe Biden told you this too, you can't do anything to help yourself without us. Black leaders told you the same thing, didn't they?
Yep.
We want you to give us rights. Now, mind you, when slaves got free, you were given those rights right off the top.
Right.
You were. Some of us moved to places where they thrived right off the top. Explain this one to me. How is it that a large portion, I didn't mean a large portion, I would say somewhere between 55 to 60% of the Black people after slavery, boom, took off. Please ask me how Black Wall Street came to be. Anyway, they didn't need white people for that, just FYI. And you know how they managed to get in there? The actual racists managed to get in there? Black people.
Yeah,
crabs in the bucket syndrome.
All eight Black Wall Streets. So just has to mention Tulsa, all 8 of them.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one that mentioned the amount. Understand that? They didn't get in there because they couldn't make it. They got in there because of one idiot that said you're not supposed to make it, and he linked up with the one person that didn't want them to make it and caused it to collapse.
Yep.
Now you look at how things are moving now. You have to have one Black person saying that we need white people to get us through, and we'll call them allies.
Come on.
And the ally will be coming on. Mike, look, as much as Malcolm X may have had his issues, he was right about that one thing. The ally is one of the worst damn things to ever happen to Negroes. And here's how the ally did what he did. The ally worked with people. The ally was people like Margaret Sanger.
Yep.
And she went to work with people, Black people, preachers even, who knew how to communicate Massa Sam stuff with the Blacks to tell them exactly how to say, what to say, when to say, how to think.
Yep.
What do you think was the result of that? The result of that was what? Women are the ruler, men are not, and men have to be put in a certain place. Now, no different than when it was on the plantation.
Yep.
You want to know how they really got a hold of the plantation, what they really did? They did 2 things. They either raped a woman, especially the ones that were taken, not just a free woman with no husband or anything, they have to have a husband, or they would emasculate the man in front of the woman.
Right.
What eventually would happen is that the woman realized she has to do things on her own. She passed that on to her daughter.
Yep.
And before the daughter even got a husband, what happened? Exactly. She took on the mantra of the way the woman handled things. Very few of them would make it out of slavery and say, I'm sticking by my man. And they went on to be very successful.
Yep.
And you can ask any rich black person that came from generational wealth, because there are quite a few of them that have generational wealth. Don't tell me that black people don't have generational wealth. The stupid ones don't. Stupid black people don't have generational wealth. The smart ones that stayed with family have it and didn't listen to massa have it. What you end up with is a generation that ends up like this.
Have an abortion with me. I was really torn about whether or not I was going to make this video, but I think it's important. This is the video I was looking for. I was like, what's going to go on? But I'm making that video for anyone else who needs to know what's going to go on. Now, I decided to have the pill abortion. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, of my first baby, I had to do the whole ultrasound process. That really did not bang with me. I goes to the second appointment. So I have this baby. I could not have another baby. So I decided to go with the pill option this time. That first pill that you take, it's just going to be pretty tame. You know, it just like dilates you a little bit. You're supposed to take it 24 hours before you take the other pills. Put the name on the screen. I cannot pronounce it. Now here, after I took that first pill, I went to go get all of my self-care stuff. So I was just grabbing a whole bunch of stuff that would be really easy to make, both for me and the baby. Grab some jugs of water because hydration. I did make some of this food in advance just so I could throw it in some Tupperware and also feed myself so that I'd be ready to go down with that second pill. After I put the baby to sleep and cleaned my whole fucking house, mental health, decided to get started on these second pills right before bed, because this is the one that's going to bring on the cramp. So I was just like, okay, let me put myself in a good position where I can shower as much as I want. I'm a single mom, and go to sleep and then reassess for the beginning of the next day. That's when we do well. In the mornings, we have.
Now, I want you to be aware she's videotaping her murdering a child. I want you to be aware of what just happened there. These are the kinds of people that they'll put in front of the black community. And you'll hear a bunch of them saying, yes, sister, way to go. You know your own. You got to have your own. You're black and independent.
Come on.
She videotaped. Listen carefully. She just videotaped with some of the most happy music, murdering her own baby.
Come on.
Happily doing it.
Come on.
Okay? Happily. If you really are a black person and you cared about what happened in slavery, you would realize there were women that were on that ship. Watch Amistad to get a good idea.
Yeah.
There were women on slave ships that could not bear the thought of their child being enslaved. And they didn't throw the child overboard. They died with their child. If you really want to have an abortion, kill yourself. Kill yourself. I will say it. You should have shot yourself in the head. That's what you should do. You want to know? We're not doing the other show. Corey's occupied.
All right.
I'm trying to change the time right now. If you really want to have something not to take care of, don't take care of yourself. And yourself. That would be more proficient for the children around you than to have a stinking, degenerate mother like you around. I feel sorry for the child that's alive. That child needs to be adopted by somebody else. You're a horrible parent. You're a horrible human. Off yourself. Why are you killing somebody innocent? You would better much, instead of eating a pill, take that gun and point it in your mouth and pull the trigger to the back of your head, blows all over that apartment. That'd be much better, because that's essentially what you're doing to your child. You don't deserve to live. That child does. So kill yourself. Y'all believe in rights, right? Human rights? What if the husband doesn't want you around? Does he have the right to blow your brains out? Pull you apart? Can he dismember you? How about that? Hey, it's about what your freedom, right? It's about your rights, right? Man have rights too. What if I don't want you around? Too graphic? Am I too heavy for you? You do realize you're melting a child in your stomach, and you're eventually going to pass that through your disgusting vagina, right? That whore hole that you have.
Oh.
You're easy to bend over and take D all day long, and you don't want the repercussions of it. You're willing to burn a child up for your stupid, openly disgusting behavior. Right? That's what you want. But this is exactly what the black culture embraces. That disgusting, degenerate behavior. This is what they embrace. This is what they want. And they want me to accept that and be part of that. Screw that. Screw you and your stupid culture. I hope all of your culture burns completely to the ground.
I don't want no part of it.
I hope tomorrow I wake up and find that everyone that thinks like you is eradicated. You want to call it genocide? Call it genocide. I don't give a damn. You're going to end up killing yourself anyway. either by drugs or by gang reasons or abortion. Your numbers are going to dwindle anyway. Keep aborting yourself. Go ahead.
Watch this, Merlin.
Let the smart and intelligent Black people continue to thrive. And I hope that every last one of you never reproduce again and you die a miserable old person or sometimes even younger. Because the less of you there are, the better off we'll be.
I want to add something to that, right? You know, I got to go there, right? So we have this thing that you're talking about, and the so-called dark melanated people call it a genocide when it's really a democide. It's really democide. Let's call it by definition what it is, right? And those of you that don't know what democide is basically the government, state-sponsored killing, right? So I want you to put that in that context. It's democide. It is structured democide. And they get people in the community to pressure you into committing democide. Now, with that being said, isn't it kind of ironic? We was talking about the unity of Jim Crow and all the things that had to happen during Jim Crow for the quote unquote Black American diaspora to stay intact. And then the Civil Rights Act comes out in 1964, right? Now watch this. What happened the year after in 65? The Hart-Celler Act. What did the Hart-Celler Act do? It opened up selective immigration for people in the Caribbean and Central America. I want people to think about that a second. Now we look forward in 2024. What problem do we have? We have a group of people coming across, and the Hart-Celler Act has expanded to literally across the world at this point, right? You have a different demographics of people coming in to replace the Black American diaspora on this continent. Wide open borders. Y'all hear what I'm saying, right? They didn't quote unquote, right? They trafficked dark melanated folks here down to the Caribbean. It's the same doctrine in the Caribbean, right? Because look at this, and Marlon, you know that you know this, right? Every time Haitians come across that border, what do? What does the United States do to Haitians when they cross that border? They send them right back, don't they? Haitians, Montserratians, all of them are not permitted in this country. They will send them back. But everybody else can come. Ukraine, Iran, Iraq, all these cats. But they not going to bring no Haitians. They not bringing Montserratians. They not bringing a lot of Trinis here anymore. They're turning them back.
But here's a crazy part. Here's one part that you need to mention too. It's easy now because they've already won the battle to make Black Americans be okay with it.
Correct. And they're sending them people to the inner city communities. They're not sending them out here in rural America, where where I'm at. They're not sending them out here. They're sending them in the cities to replace these people, and then giving them money, doling out their money in their face to the people they've allowed to come across the border.
That's some facts right there.
Didn't we just say they outlived their usefulness, right? Remember early in the question I asked you, what do they outlive their usefulness? They do.
Right.
No different. It's no different than when the slave ran its course. When a slave got too tired, a slave got too worn, what did they have to do? Replace the slave.
Right.
Yep.
How else are you gonna? You got to replace him. And how do you replace them? It's not always with their children.
Right.
Sometimes the children are used as bartering tools, but they're not always going to raise the children to be the next generation of slaves. That's not how it normally works.
Right. This is federal government. This is federal government sponsored gentrification. You usually see gentrification on the local level with the elites buying stuff out. No. This is government sponsored gentrification in your face. But people don't want to talk about the open border that is causing the issue.
Now, mind you, it's the same thing happening in the Caribbean.
Yes,
I want them to listen carefully. Ironically, it's the same people at the head, and I'm not talking about just average white people. We're talking about a very elite few.
Right.
The same crew that brought slaves over, that dealt with the Moors and dealt with the Arabs and all that crap that brought the slaves to America. It's the same crew that were over the Caribbean in headship, and are the same ones that are allowing the Venezuelans in to Trinidad. The same one allowing everyone from Central America throughout the Caribbean. We have such a huge problem with the Venezuelans. They come in there, and we have a high mortality rate for everyone coming in, because they come in and murder more people than anyone else in any other period of history in Trinidad. They come in and they bring more murder with them than any other race, any other nationality has ever happened in Trinidad and Tobago. I want you to understand why that is, because they have been, and this is the same thing that happened in America. They made black so weak because they've gotten to this. You feed them a certain thing over and over, and Trinidadians are now so stupid they will buy into that. We need to bring them in, we need to bring them, and then they kill you.
Yeah.
And who did that? The same people that were the ones that colonized it.
Come on.
And we're not talking about just random white people. We're talking about racists, okay? And you find them today in the Democrat Party. And yes, quite a few of them do exist in the Republican Party as well.
That is
but
true.
The majority of them, if not all of them, are definitely in the Democrat Party. The instant you can tell me I am less because of my skin color, I am weaker because of my skin color, and you have to dumb down things for me because I can't understand it, I keep telling you the exact same thing they did in slavery. You don't need to know about that, boy. Don't you worry your head about that. We got that covered. You don't be need to talking about no price. You don't know nothing about that there.
Yep.
Right?
We'll tell you exactly what you want you to think.
Same thing. Same exact thing. You don't need to worry yourself about that. I got that. You can't make this ends meet. I can make it meet for you. Don't you worry about it, boy.
That's true.
Same thing. But y'all don't want to hear that. See, when we tell you that, you know why you get so mad? Because you know we're right. And you feel stupid for it. But you're so stupid that you feel the need to defend the same people that call you stupid. That's real stupidity right there.
Come on.
And you know what the problem is? There'll be no hope for you.
Come on.
And I don't mean for all of you, but for the majority of you, yeah, there's no hope for you. Which is why I'm not going to extend no damn olive branch to you. You wouldn't even know what to do with it.
Come on.
You might think it's poison. And then you're going to fight me. And you know what I'm going to do? Push your ass right back into the water and drown yourself. I don't care. I really don't know more. Here's why. You have been told over and over and over and shown over and they keep telling and showing their hands to you every year. Every 4 years, they come to you, do the exact same pandering, the exact same offering, the exact same things, promises, never fulfilled.
Yep.
The only thing they fulfill to you is this. We're bringing Planned Parenthood into your neighborhood to kill your kids. Every year that happens now. That they promised that and they made that happen. You don't find that kind of weird?
I've actually noticed even further than that. I've actually noticed that they make the promise, but then they go out and circumnavigate the black community to benefit other groups, like the anti-Asian hate bill. Nobody asked for that, but we got it. Why?
I know why. Can I answer in your middle of that? Because you had so-called black people literally sitting here in not only killing that one was he a Vietnamese guy in New York, right? Beat up others. You got the Asian hate bill, right? Straight up. There was no, because they try to say it was the shooting in Atlanta, right? The shooting in Atlanta at the massage dome, right? Oh, we got to no. That Asian hate bill came out as soon as black people started jumping on Asian people. That one Vietnamese guy got killed. The other one got hurt in California real bad. Now here comes the Asian hate bill. But look, these people, right? Watch this, y'all. Cannot get the same Congress to pass an anti-black bill. They can't get them to pass one. I want people to ponder that for a second and come up to your own conclusions on why that is so. I can tell you why it's so. I'm gonna let y'all find out how it's so.
The crazy part about all these people is that even after this podcast, you're not going to see a whole lot of people wake up. No, you're just not. And I think at some point, those of us who have woken up have to move on and talk to only those that are willing to listen.
Yeah, that's true.
There are just going to be some, like that lady beard wearing guy, that map shirt wearing guy. He's not going to listen because he's being paid to push the opposite. He works for the house. He loves the house because the house gives him what he wants.
Yep.
The house is telling him everything he wants to know about himself. But he will not listen because it's not to the help of the community that he says he's serving, because in his mind, his help to the community is to bring them up to the big house. But he's not actually bringing them to the big house. He's lying to them because he knows there's no room for them up there. He knows it, because if they ever come up to the big house, you know who loses their position? He does.
Yep.
The house always wins, right?
He doesn't want to lose that position. Why would I bring other Negroes over to do that? Heck no. But I will lie to you. I will lie to you. And they know how to lie.
You
They
get
know
paid
exactly how to lie. Man, look, I want to see if I can find this real quick here. I want to find this statement, if I can find it. If I can find this one by it'll explain everything to you. Let's see if I can find the book. There it is. Okay. If I can find this now.
How'd I know you was going there?
If I can find this way.
That song, If I Can Turn Back Time?
Yeah.
Oh.
If because I'm reading it here, but it's in the Uncle Tom Cabin book. And it was right after Massa Sam came back from hunting down one of the runaway ladies and her child.
Sambo.
Yeah. And he came back in and started talking to the slaves after he had gotten some more stuff from the house mistress. Let me see if I can find the right spot here. Because once you hear how Massa Sam speaks, you'll understand fully what I mean. You'll understand what I mean, because he uses the exact same words. He uses the same words that the slave master uses and talks to them the same way. And it'd be, of course, the one time I can't think of what chapter it's in. Let me see.
Oh, now my chat's working. All of a sudden, just started scrolling a whole bunch of stuff to start scrolling on the side. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. Thank you.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is.
Someone asked, so why do blacks remain on a plantation, aka the Democratic Party? Is it the free factor?
Well, I'll answer it like this. Majority of so-called black folk, right? They don't know their status at law. That's half the problem, right? If they knew their status at law, they would really understand the paradigm that we're living in, and that everything that is race is merely a legal status, because every individual should be identified by nationality, not by a race, because nationality is what is actually legal and gets your passports. You can't have black on a passport. You can't have white on a passport. Your nation is on a passport.
That's right.
Right? Until you can show me, quote unquote, a Blackistan or Whiteislavia or a Asiastan, none of that bullshit is relevant.
Period.
It's irrelevant. It's all misnomer.
Chapter
to get you
6.
to deny your nationality. I digress, though.
It's in chapter 6. Now I gotta find.
Linda.
It's okay. So it's in chapter 6. Let me see if I can find chapter 6. Because I have to find it. I have to, and I'm going to be obsessed if I don't find it. I don't want the summary. I want chapter 6.
You don't want the summary.
And when I tell you you can't, you have to hear what he says.
Oh no,
you have to.
Am I gonna rage quit?
You might. You might.
I'm gonna rage quit. No.
You just might, because it is one of the most profound examples of what's happening today. what's happening today. It'll explain everything to you.
Is this a video? You have to put me on game.
It's the audiobook.
Oh, okay. Kindle. Can you get on Kindle or not Kindle, but Audible? Amazon Audible. Is it on there? Because I'll say I can get that joint like right now.
Let's see if this is it here.
Well, Uncle Tom's Cabin, you can watch it on YouTube and Audible for free.
That's all right. That's exactly right, RDL. That's exactly right. People don't know that. RDL, people don't know that. Color by definition makes you not real, right? Yep. Legally, the legal definition tells you color is a prima facie or simulacrum or something that is not real. Like, go ahead and claim yourself as a color. This is black and white. Claim yourself as that color. You're dead now as of the law.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Okay.
That's why you need civil rights, not constitutional rights, because they stripped them from you when they took their nationality, when they took your nationality from you. But we're not going to go there right now. This is Marlon's show.
That's the show you need to listen to. You want to learn. He's like KRS-One of TikTok. KRS Justice
of liberty, baby. Come on now. It's all about liberty. At the end of the day, nationality is all about liberty. If you can't claim your nationality, you're stuck in the perpetual system of corporate slavery.
Okay.
I think you found it.
Almost there. Chapter 7. Okay, I'll paraphrase. I can't find it. It's taking too long. He got up after coming back from hunting down one of the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back, got his food, went to listen to Massa, came back, and he told them, y'all don't understand how good I am to you. Because if it wasn't for me, they could have caught that lady real easy. But I did what I had to do by delaying the dogs, by distracting them, that gave her time to get away. He said, now, it wasn't for me. Y'all need people like me in order to make sure that y'all stay safe on the plantation. Now, you hear? This was Sam talking to the slaves, trying to make his role in hunting down a slave seem palpable. By telling them and speaking to them the same way Massa would talk to them. You just don't understand how good of a person I am. I'm the best friend you got. Because I'm here trying to make sure that Massa, when you do run away, you don't get caught. Now, and this is what he also said, mind you, I can't secure that you won't get caught, but I can make sure I run interference for you now. Have you heard that before?
Oh,
have you heard that all around the
look,
black talk?
Watch this, bro. Watch this, bro. I gotta do it. You triggered a thought in my encyclopedia that's in here somewhere, right? Watch this. Anytime the elitists want to test out an agenda, where do they test it?
Black communities.
Right. Okay. Modern day policing. Did the light bulb turn on? What did Marlon just tell you? What did Marlon just say, y'all, in the comments? I see the comments now. What did Marlon just tell you? I'm the best thing you got. I'm watching up for you. They try to keep you there, right?
Yeah.
The modern police force is based off of that same doctrine. Same shit.
Yeah, because the modern police force, back historically, they were used to chase down runaway slaves.
Right. Now, why? Now, watch this. I want people to understand this. Why did they have to create the police force to chase down slaves? There's two reasons. They're in conjunction, right? One of them is that the sheriffs would not chase slaves. Number two, policemen, remember, they're not officers, policemen and women had one duty: to protect property owned by the municipality and its citizens. Weren't slaves property?
Right.
Mm.
Now here's a flip side to it.
Indeed.
Come on.
Now, because they could not, here's the thing. Now, because when slaves got free, the police's role had to change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the police had to protect the free because they were no longer what? Property.
Correct.
However, the crew that wanted to make sure that they remained in power as though they were still slaves created who? Instead of wearing blue, what were they wearing?
White.
They were wearing white.
White. Yep.
So they created a whole different brand of police called the KKK.
There you go. Come on. Come on.
They had to find a way to maintain their power over the freemen.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it not through the police force anymore, because since the police no longer saw them as they can't see them as property no more because they're not property no more. They have to create a different thing. What did they create? The KKK could go after anybody they want in that way.
Correct.
Not just by fear, but by what? Intimidation and killing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you realize that the KKK was operating outside of the law because they were free, what did you have to do after that? You had to try and find a way to make the KKK legal.
Right.
How do you make the KKK legal? And this is where the blacks people think they probably have me. See, you believe in systematic racism. Hear me out. How do you make the KKK legal?
They ran for public office.
Yeah. Come on.
You got to get in there to try and create a way to what? Make sure that it continues, right?
Yep.
Now, how do you do it? You can't do it by law. You can't do it by law. You can't do it by law. It's not possible.
It'd be violation of the First Amendment.
And you also can't do it yourself, just like with the sheriff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do? You have to hire Uncle Sam's. How do you do that? You hire black people to go put them mentally back in the position of what? Slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make them property. How do you do that? Property can't leave your place without you telling them, right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. You can't leave the ghetto. Have they told you that? Oh, they have, huh? Okay.
Come on.
Okay. But we're the ones that believe in white supremacy. You're literally living within the lap of white supremacy while telling us that we are kowtowing to it when you're the ones actually perpetrating it on your own self.
No, watch this, Marlon. Watch this, Marlon, right? The Black Code started in what, 1867, 68-ish, right? After the ratified unconstitutional 14th Amendment. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to talk about that point, right? What was the South's biggest fear once the freedmen were free? Them taking over government.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The other one was what? Having firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Who
helped them get both?
Well, we know the Republican Party did,
Thank you very much.
the NRA, right? But here's the thing, right? I want people to understand those same Uncle Sams you're talking about were the ones snitching on people that had long guns to fight off the KKK during the Black Codes. Listen at what I'm telling you. It's well documented, right? Even up to the culmination of the Wilmington insurrection of 1898, where over 30 black people and a little bit more than 15 white people were killed because the people committed an insurrection on the Wilmington, North Carolina City Council and overthrew the government. All because of snitching and wanting to keep people in place. Uncle Sam started that. Not Uncle Sam like the government. We're talking to Uncle Sam from slavery.
Samba.
Same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Same shit. The same snitches.
Yep.
Anybody want to hear that though, Roderick?
They ain't trying to hit.
No.
Look, they're too busy trying to tear down Confederate statues.
Yep. They too busy worried about DEI and equity and all this other stuff. Keeping us in that victim mentality, keeping us in that victim mindset. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you DEI because y'all need help. We're going to create equity because y'all need help.
Right.
Just keep coming to us. Keep coming to us. Just stay where you're at, and we're going to give you what you want. Little bits at a time, little pieces, little nuggets.
Now, back to what Marlon said, right? About Uncle Sam. Who stole Uncle Sam and put a white face on it? And watch this. Watch this. Since we cooking right now, baby.
Yeah, we cooking.
We got Cajun crawfish on the grill. You heard? Listen. Since they put a white face on Uncle Sam, now right? People that don't know the historical context don't get it when we have so-called black folks that want to comply with the system, even though the system has done them wrong. The government has done them wrong. Uncle Sam. Listen to me. Uncle freaking Sam. Government, give me all these things, even though they have perpetuated the worst atrocities upon the people of this land of the United States, of the free inhabitants, as James Madison called them in Federalist number 42, right? Because people have to remember the Massachusetts case back in 1703 already said slaves were already people. Come on. Now, with that being said, people going to comply with the system and ask them for universal health care after you know the Tuskegee experiment, after you know the smallpox experiment on the Italians and the tuberculosis experiment on the Native Americans, right? You're going to ask the same government, Uncle Sam, to give you universal health care.
Insane, bro.
But they don't want to talk about that, though. You know, they don't see it like that. They don't want to lose what Uncle Sam is giving them. They don't want to lose it.
Uncle Sam, instead of again, I don't want people that's kind of missed it a little bit. Uncle Sam, right? Plantation, we keep you safe, right? I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help. Uncle Sam. Oh, give me great society, Lyndon Baines Johnson. All at the same time. I still think to this day, and I still have to prove this theory, Marlon and Bro Kids. I still have to prove this theory, and I'm working on it. I got about 400 pages. I still think those of you that have read the book, the Devil on Jekyll Island, right? What started the Fed, right? I still think to this day that was started to counter the black wealth that was coming up through the 20s and 30s due to Jim Crow. Because we know on record that as a whole, the black diaspora per capita were more wealthy than the quote unquote white Americans during that era. We know this. This is on record. Now, why would you want to break the monetary system that's being used, replace it with fiat, and pass the Gold Standard Act of 1934? Why would you want to do that? Why would you really want to sit down and do that? And then after they passed that, what happened? Oh, we have the Great Migration. This is all by design, people. Right?
Tell me if you can hear this, please.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, tell me if you can hear it. I'm going to start pressing play. Just tell me if you can hear it.
Peers who had hurried and crowded in from the various cabins to hear the termination of the day's exploits.
Okay, good.
Now was Sam's hour of glory. The story of the day was rehearsed, with all kinds of ornament and varnishing which might be necessary to heighten its effect.
Just like a black preacher when Sanger Hangard hired him. All kinds of bells and whistles to get the point across to the slaves. Listen carefully.
For Sam, like some of our fashionable dilettanti, never allowed a story to lose any of its gilding by passing through his hands. Roars of laughter attended the narration, and were taken up and prolonged by all the smaller fry, who were lying in any quantity about on the floor, or perched in every corner. In the height of the uproar and laughter, Sam, however, preserved an immovable gravity, only from time to time rolling his eyes up and giving his auditors divers inexpressibly droll glances, without departing from the sententious elevation of his oratory. You see, fellow countrymen, said Sam, elevating a turkey's leg with energy.
Now he has food that Massa gave him. He's sitting there in front of the slaves, eating this chicken leg, while talking to them with his feet put up and his hat cocked to one side, and talking to them as eloquently as he can about what he did today.
You see, now what this here child's up to for fending you all? Yes, all on you. For him, as tries to get one of our people is as good as trying to get all. You see, the principle's the same, that all's clear. And any one of these your drivers that comes smelling round or any of our people, why, he's got me in his way. I'm the fella he's got to set in with.
You hear that? So he's already reassuring the slave, don't worry about it. Uncle Sam's got you. I got you, man. No worry.
Yep.
They have to go through me while eating a big old leg that they never got to eat.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And think of the Al Sharptons. I mean, you know, picture out the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, the TDJ, all them fools. Think of them when you're listening to this.
He got a turkey thigh in the slave house, talking to them about him protecting them while he's eating better than they are. All right. Okay.
I'm the fella for you all to come to, brethren. I'll stand up for your rights. I'll fend them to the last breath. Why, but Sam, you told me only this morning that you helped this year master the Koch Lizzie. Seems to me your talk don't hang together, said Andy. I tell you now, Andy, said Sam with awful superiority. Don't you be talking about what you don't know nothing on.
Huh? Ain't that just like how they talk to you?
Respect my authority.
You don't know anything about what you're talking about. I can tell you, it's not any different.
No, it's not.
It's not any different, people.
Respect my authority, or I'm going to call Massa.
This is, listen, it gets even worse, but it gets even more true. More and more true.
Boys like you, Andy, means well, but they can't be expected to elucidate the great principles of action.
You hear that? Andy, I get what you're saying, but you're too stupid to talk about what you're talking about. Shut up.
Come on.
You don't know how to elucidate. It's not even a real word to him, but he used it because he heard it. Right? Have you heard a lot of these woke black people use words they don't know what it means?
Man, all the damn
consciously, huh?
The affirmation of the proclamation of the
no. We gotta call them Oswald Bates. Oswald Bates.
Look, it has not changed, bro. Hasn't changed.
Same thing.
Listen to the rest of this.
Andy looked rebuked, particularly by the hard word elucidate, which most of the youngerly members of the company seemed to consider as a settler in the case, while Sam proceeded. That all was conscience, Andy. When I thought of gwine or Lizzie, I rather expected Massa was thought that way. When I found Mrs. was thought the contrary, that all was conscience more yet. 'Cause fellas all gets more by sticking to Mrs. side. So you see, I's persistent either way and sticks up to conscience and holds on to principles. Yes, principles, said Sam, giving an enthusiastic toss to a chicken's neck.
Emotion.
What's principles good for if we isn't persistent, I want to know? Thar, Andy, you may have that a bone.
You hear that? You hear that? Listen to what he says after.
Quite clean.
It ain't picked quite clean yet, but you can have the bone. After insulting him in front of everybody that you don't know what you're talking about, you're stupid. You know what? Here, take a little bit of this bone after I chewed on it, and you can eat off the rest of the meat that's on there. It is no different than the black leaders today, people. That's you're oppressed.
And on the black leaders, you know, speaking of big words, one person came to mind, you know, Michael Eric Dyson. You ever listen to him, how he talks down to black folks and uses these big words and, you know, him. All these, he's one of them because they think less of you.
Yeah.
So they use these big words to confuse you. And if you don't understand what he's saying when he's using these big words, it's easy to control you.
Yep.
And can tell you whatever the word he said, he can tell you whatever they want it means, and you're going to go with it.
All I know is that this was written back when this was actually happening. And it is no different today, but it is not on the conservative side this is taking place. Conservatives don't talk to other black people that are in the same position that they are like that. The ones that are in the house, though, that work for Massa sure do.
Yep.
Call them all kinds of racist names. They call them the exact same names that Massa would, which is exactly what you see today. Coon, this, that, and the other, sellout, Bojangles, right? All the terms that the Massa would use back in the day, the black diaspora pushing people like Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, you know, Lady Beard that we saw. All of them push the exact same thing. They are exactly that because they work for the house.
That's right.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone away. It hasn't gone away.
And it's funny how they cart it out in front of you, in front of the nation, right? And people still don't recognize it for what it is, even blatant. I mean, remember the $1,000 checks? Remember that? It's supposed to be on the Trump, and Pelosi came out. They're handing you crumbs. Uncle Sam's handing you crumbs.
When y'all figure it out, you'll figure it out. Now, here's a part that I appreciate Trump for, and here's Hitler's that he may not be the most moral person out there. I get that, but here's what he has told you: you spent how long working for the one person that has been keeping you down your whole life?
Come on,
right? He told you this. He told you this back in 2016. You've been doing the same stupid stuff to yourself for how long? Your schools are crap, your life is crap, and you keep handing them every 4 years the same vote. Even if you thought it may not work, you can't be any worse off than you are. And you know what y'all did? Nah. And you fought him for 4 years, and now you brought Massa into the White House.
Yep.
And he brought with him his own very own house slave in Kamala.
That called him the racist. That called him on national TV.
On TV, he brought Uncle Sam. He brought Massa Sam with him. He brought Mr. Sam with him in the form of Kamala Harris. The same one that would have actually created the KKK, y'all brought in. And y'all are there in the corner like this. Yes, Massa. Give us some more crumbs. Yes, Massa. That's y'all. Like some damn monkeys with symbols in a corner.
Yes.
Right? Harambe would have been insulted to be associated with y'all. Right?
I mean, I don't see the lie.
But you're willing to have them over you because she black. This is exactly how they got you the first time. This is how they got you even to be enslaved. Went over there and they found one coon, a real coon, in the black over there in Africa, the tribesman, the head guy. He just caught you and sent you over here. Now you're going to put him in the big house. Right? And you're applauding that. Oh, female, slay queen. Because she black.
I mean,
y'all disgusting, man. You're watching the death of your own community. I don't stand it. I really don't.
Got nothing.
You're watching the own death of you literally. This is how it is. I'm going to make it as graphic as possible. This is the black community in a nutshell right now. Listen carefully.
Oh shit, come on.
The black community stands around a campfire. And here comes one Negro standing up saying, you know, we really got to move away from this campfire because it's too hot. And here comes one person walking over, a white person, and hands the black dude a baby. But in order to do that, we got to make sure the fire gets hotter so we can understand, and takes that black baby and tosses it in the fire. Now the fire has some fuel and it's burning. And it's getting warmer. So now what he just said is proven right. Oh, it is getting hotter. Maybe I should move away, but hold on. Don't move yet because it's still not hot enough. Bring me another baby. 15 babies later, you're just moving slightly. You're just moving. You ain't moving away from the fire because it's too intriguing to meet the truth of what he's saying is happening. Oh, look, things are just getting too hot. You don't realize it's getting hot at the expense of your offspring. You don't realize it's getting hotter at the expense of your future. You don't care because you're listening to this one moron who's actually killing your kids because he look like you, and what he's saying can be tangibly proven because he's the one proving it to you. And in the meantime, the people that are closest to the fire are getting burned, and as they get burned and consumed, the fire is growing, proving to the ones behind them it's getting warmer. Meanwhile, there are people in the back thinking, hold on. It is getting warmer because they're putting our bodies in this fire. I'm just not going to be around the campfire. and they leave. You just don't want us to thrive. How are you going to leave us behind like that and move on? You don't realize we're going to need to leave the fire? Then leave the fire. I can't just leave the fire. The leader's still there. And everything he said has been coming true. Grabs another baby, tosses it in.
And with that, they've created this world manipulation around, right? Around so-called dark melanated people, right? And I want to expand that, right, to even the geopolitical stage a second, right? Now we know on TikTok, right, that the Palestinians, right, they have to put a watermelon in their profile so they don't get banned, right, off of social media. Now watch this. All these anti-racists in the United States, remember, right, these people, right, remember, I'm keep holding them all to account. If they apply to something and they subscribe to it, I'm gonna hold you to account to it, right? So these anti-racists say, oh, these things are racist, we shouldn't ever use them or bring them up, so they go away. The same anti-racist, right, are sitting here putting the watermelon in their profile, knowing that the watermelon carries a racist connotation in the United States. You have a duty as a United States national, if you are calling yourself anti-racist, to uphold that. Let the Palestinians put that watermelon in their profile. That's their culture, but you are an American first. You should not be putting that in your profile if you're claiming yourself to be anti-racist, which goes to tell me that you don't only care about it unless you want to use it as a weapon. But you know what else is funny? Watch this. And this is gonna literally just blows everybody's mind away real quick, right? So I don't think they put 2 and 2 together yet. These same anti-racists are standing with Palestinians talking about from the river to the sea, right? At the same time, those same people back in 2018, 2019, when Charlottesville happened, shouting down these so-called white supremacists, saying Jews will not replace us, shouting them down, but you shouting the same thing, saying from the river to the sea.
Opportunistic is all it is.
No, I'm sorry. Quote unquote undercover ethnophobes, undercover what else you want to call it? You can't sit here and tell me that you're all this anti-racist, you're all this stuff, but you're gonna shout for a genocide of another group of people while you just told a group of people in your own country that they were being racist. And you're saying the same shit. You're from the river to the sea is the same thing as saying Jews will not replace us. Same goddamn thing. But no one is calling that shit out.
The reason they can't, because it's a talking point, and the ones at the head was the ones that's pushing it, right? The ones at the head, the squad, all the black people. Look, if y'all want to keep falling for the same okie doke, as your president like to say, the same okie doke, fall for it. Yeah, just keep falling for it. The rest of us who want to carry on and make our own Black Wall Streets will do it. But here's the thing. Your stupidity is not going to define us. Your stupidity is not going to keep us down. And also your stupidity is not going to be identified with us.
Correct.
Which is why we keep you not only at arm's distance, but we ain't touching you like the Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
He said 39.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Because what you have to offer me and death is the same. What you offer me and absolute debauchery is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anything to give my kids. You don't have anything positive to offer them. You give them only stereotypical stuff because you follow the mantra of Massa. And Massa wants people to believe that they're not following Massa.
Uncle Sam, right?
Look at Stephen. Stephen was quite content to stay, right? To the point where Massa got shot and he was all crying. Because now nobody can help him. Joe Biden told you this before he got elected, that y'all can't do nothing without white people.
Come on.
And you still elected him. He called you stupid and you elected him.
Come on,
he
brother.
Called you uncultured and you elected him. He said that you didn't have any kind of diversity to you and you elected him.
Wow.
Okay. This is not even me saying that. You can go back and listen to him say it. He said you don't know what a computer was. You don't know how to use a computer. He said you don't know how to have you don't even know what lawyers are. You can't afford lawyers. He told you this before he got elected. And your stupid ass still elected him.
And look at what he said about Barack Obama, and Barack Obama still made him his vice. You know, he said he's a well-spoken, clean, articulate black
the first African American.
And me, you know, I would have took offense to that, but Barack Obama made him his what? He made him his vice president.
Mm-hmm.
And these fools will still vote for him. They'll vote for him. They'll go here into the next election if it happens. They'll vote for him. They'll stand in line to vote for him.
That's why I tell you. Remember that controversy of last year about the whole small town bullshit, the Jason Aldean song, about small town. I know Marlon. Me and Marlon kind of went back and forth on that Destiny Girl on TikTok. But I'm like, look, 90% of you so-called dark melanated people wouldn't survive out here in the rural country. You wouldn't survive because you got to put in that work. You got to drive 20 miles to a grocery store. My nearest grocery store is 22 miles. 22. Right? You wouldn't survive out here. You scared of pew-pews unless you shooting your fellow brother in the back. You scared of pew-pews. Huh? You ain't gonna come out here and shoot down a deer or elk or a bear if he's in your damn yard. Keep your ass in the damn city.
I'm glad you said that.
Keep your ass in the city. If you can't handle the heat, you want to talk about small towns.
This is my last point. This is my last point.
Come on.
To all you race hustlers, if white people really are that bad, listen to me. If they are as bad as you say they are, and they've done what you say they have, and I mean all white people, why haven't the gangs, because they're protectors of the community, what you say, why haven't the gangs organized and wiped out white people? You know why you can't do it? Because you're chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, you're lily-livered. You ain't men.
They're all tall.
You're sissies. You're pussies. All of you.
Ooh.
You know why? Because even a white grandma will put you down. A white grandma will 22 you. Pow!
I mean, look at what those folks did. Remember St. Louis? When BLM broke into their private
driveway? You couldn't do nothing about them, could you? You're afraid. You're a chicken. All of a sudden, you can't fight. All of a sudden, you can't fight?
Right.
There were 20, 30 of you. Huh? 30 of you were there. To two old people, and you couldn't do nothing because you're chicken.
Yep.
You're chicken. You're scary. All that talk. You went, but let a black dude talk to you sideways.
And you want to
go bust his head to the white meat, right? You're ready to bust his head to the white meat, and you'll do it too. You'll put it on social media and laugh about it.
Come on.
Technically, not technically, in reality, you are the coons. In reality, you are the sellouts. In reality, you are the house niggers, is what you are. And I will put the hard R on it. You are the house niggers.
Ooh.
You ain't no house nigger. You a house nigger. You're the ones that will go grab the slave's baby and kill it and take it to massa to be raped. That would be you.
Sure would.
That'd be you. Don't come talking to us about who we are. We know who we are. We're free. We're free, and you ain't. And we'll continue to laugh at your slavery and your stupidity for as long as we walk free. We'll continue to do what we do and not be oppressed by nobody and not be hateful. And we'll watch you in your demise and watch you suffer and watch you keep arguing about what massa did and what this do and what that do and watch you just go into infinity and disappear. And we will watch your legacy and laugh at it until we go to the grave. And our children are going to thrive.
The same massa that they complain about is the same massa that they've been serving.
Period.
They're using you house Negroes to put down other black folk that are actually trying to help you. But y'all don't want to hear that though. You're gonna continue
Negro,
killing.
House Negro right here.
Yep, that's one.
This would be a prime example of Sam. This one right here is Sam.
Overlord.
A prime example of Sam.
Who is that?
US Army
His name
Overlord.
is U.S. Army Overlord. He's friends with Thomas the Villain and Jolly Green.
Oh God, I don't touch that with 109-foot pole.
You see, Jolly Ginger is another one of those house massas. He's a massa, and he admits it. And these people, that particular Negro there, is one of his best friends. What does that tell you? Anyway, I'm just saying.
It's. I mean, look. Look, when he sat there, remember what 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago? Well, yeah, it was 2 years ago. Remember when he called that one black girl a bed wench?
Mm-hmm. And I had to go off on them. Yeah.
Yeah, we all went off on his ass, and none of these other idiots out here were like, well, he just, is it? They had the nerve to defend it. What? It's true, ain't it? What the fuck you mean?
How's it true? Do you even understand what a wench was?
Like, what you mean? You gonna lather up and do, bitch? What?
They weird, man.
And that's gonna get a pass.
A pass, and not just a pass, an acceptance.
Yeah.
Cookout level into acceptance.
See, here's the thing. I heard that old dude, Jolly, and the Tizzy guy down here. He's down here in Florida. He don't show his face in public in Florida in certain places.
Oh, he can't, and he shouldn't. Like I say, a lot of them too. A lot of them, and I'm gonna say it. A lot of them are pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are pedophiles, undercover and out loud. They're pedophiles. You can't look. You can't be that deep in the Democrats' throat and not be one. It's naturally part of the whole ideal.
Right. Exactly.
Naturally part of the whole ideal.
If you can't call out the principal at every turn, regardless if it's unpopular, you're just a hack.
You're just one. Now, if you guys want to do something to make sure that this gets traction, clip it up. Clip it up. Yeah, I want you to download this and piece it apart and spread it as far as you want. Take the most volatile parts and make sure you blast it all over social media, wherever it can stay up. Because I'm going to do it. I'm moving this over to Rumble too. I'm not taking it off of Facebook, but I'm downloading it and sending it over to Rumble too.
There you go.
Because in essence, this needs to be heard. The history has to be told and people need to know the truth. Now, if you don't listen, you don't listen. Suffer. Don't care. Right. But if you're willing to listen and park your emotions for 5 minutes, we'll be happy. We'll be happy to talk with you. But at some point, people, you got to wake up. You got to wake up, because if you don't, you're going to continue the same cycle. And then your children are going to, if you even have them, if you don't kill them before and they don't kill each other, they're going to suffer the same effects you did, if not worse.
Mm-hmm.
If not worse, because they're going to become more normal to them.
Right.
That's why you have the amount of problems you have today. They think their life is not worth anything because they were told their life is worthless. And if I've been told my whole life that my life is worthless, why wouldn't I hesitate to shoot my brother?
Yep.
Right.
I wouldn't hesitate. It's worthless. I can't get out anyway. I've been told that it's pointless. So why live? Mm-hmm. It's advanced suicide is what it was.
Yep.
It's advanced suicide.
This is why you'll never catch me ever living in a city, ever. I've never lived in a well, let me put it in context. You'll never catch me living in an American city for that exact reason, Marlon. That exact reason. Because I'm more than likely to be harmed, not only by policemen in the city,
but by your own people,
but also by my own people. It's a double risk, man. Out here in the backwoods, bro. I might see the sheriff. Yeah. I might see the sheriff probably once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
That's why I tell them, come to my place. If you want to threaten and come find me, please come find me. Like, I hope you come to find me, because if you come down to where I'm at, bro, you got to make it past some crazy white people.
Come on now.
Trust me, you ain't making it past them, but you can try to make it past the crazy white people. I know for a fact that I have at least 3 in my back pocket that if they hear that you're even remotely thinking of coming here, before you hit a mile out, you're gone.
Yeah.
One guy in particular, before you hit a mile out, and I'm not lying about this, if they know you coming, I got a straight street this way and a straight street that way. He can stay on one end of the street and see you come in from the very back when there's only two ways, one in and one out. You even sniff that corner.
Yep, we know you there. Yep, we know you there, and that's what they don't get. We know you there.
And you know what's not going to happen? No arrest.
Yeah,
it's not going. We're not going to get arrested.
Well, arrest what? What the sheriff don't know nothing.
It was a mosquito. It was
what you mean?
It was one of them who mosquitoes, you know, that them advanced mosquitoes, you know, they come in with their
advanced mosquito.
That's what a lot of these internet tough guys don't realize, that some of us got goons out here, and that's real talk.
Look, I live in the middle of the Willacoochee State Forest, right? That slap dab in the middle of that sumbitch. Okay, so yeah, come on, pull on up, bro. Pull on up.
Yeah, please.
If the two neighbors don't get you, which are about 30 acres on either side, on the other
The honey
side,
badger will.
right? Not even honey badger. The Florida panther might get your ass first, right? Or the Florida black bear might get your ass first. Like one of them two motherfuckers gonna get you before anybody even crack a pow. One of them two gonna get your ass out here.
Look,
pull up.
The woods are worse for you. Don't do the woods. Stay out of the woods.
Yeah, pull up.
Don't do the woods. If I got any advice for you, don't do the woods. Okay, stay away. And also, if you're against white people, do not go to a neighborhood highly populated by them, where they do have a lot of freedom with their pews. Especially if you say you're coming after a black dude that thinks like them. Bad idea.
Especially if they have the police at their disposal.
Oh yeah,
they can call the police. The police pulling up.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I will look. I'm scared. I will call 911. I have no problem with the boys in blue. They know me.
Yeah,
I know half the force here. I will call them and say, "Yo, it's me." They were like, "Oh, how you doing? I got problems." We're there.
Look, these same people that holler about police brutality live in the so-called white yuppie neighborhoods where they get the police called on them.
You ain't lying.
Like, come on, real talk, man.
I'm gonna say that too. It was a skinwalker that did it.
I'm out. That's it. That comment took me right out. I'm done.
Wild Wild West.
I'm done. I gotta go.
Skinwalker. At first, I thought it was a deer, Your Honor, but then it turned into a man, and then back into a deer.
Yep, it scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh God. Oh,
I thought I was dreaming. All I had was 2 shots of moonshine, Your Honor. I didn't know.
Yep.
Bruh. Woo! I tell you. Anyway, from a roast session to an education session, this was a great live.
Indeed.
And I think come Friday, when we do introduce Harry to the mix.
Oh, y'all gonna have Harry on?
We're gonna talk about Harry.
Oh, y'all gonna roast his ass too, huh?
Yeah.
The other guy is Harry, the moderate Democrat. In case y'all don't know him, go look him up. The modern Democrat. And we'll talk about them in full force, and probably even throw in the others like Consciously and those other clowns who push the same crap over and over. So we might include a whole slew of them, but
the Sambos.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about all of that come Friday. For those of you who are thinking Too Strong would be on, besides of this going long, Corey was impaired today. He could not make it. He had some family stuff he was dealing with. So, but good family stuff, not emergency stuff. It was, good family stuff, but ran a little long. So we didn't have Too Strong tonight, but it was good because it worked out, because this conversation could actually come to a somewhat of a close and actually have some closure to it. So that was good. Thank you, Mr. Justice, for showing up.
Yes,
and
sir, appreciate you.
One of these days, we're going to make sure we have a full panel where we have, I want Lumber on here with Professor Mike, yourself, and Lady J. That'd be an amazing panel if we can get it together.
Man, this would be off the chain.
That'd be.
Bro. We'll shut the house down, baby.
Have all the heavy hitters on. Just
I think that'd be good, and we can have some very good cultural discussions about it too, because we all come from a very varied and sundry background. And I think that would be the actual definition of America on screen, in my opinion, because it's not everyone. We're not coming from the same place, but we all are trying to get to the same place where we can be who we are, regardless, and nobody mess with us. But under the auspices of morality, you can't forget that we're not trying to operate like the Wild Wild West or something that will end up harming kids. We're trying to operate within the realms of morality, but to each his own.
Yep.
Just understand that we're not trying to advocate for the way the left wants to do stuff. They will never be right. That's why they call the left. Just understand that. So we'll be back on Friday. Too Strong, this episode that was to be tonight, we will do it tomorrow night. We've already arranged it. It's already pushed forward. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, we'll be talking about the addition of equality and inclusion and gender and race and all that stuff into the church. Anyway, that'll be crazy. So I'll show you the video, guys, tomorrow. Don't forget, 12 noon tomorrow, and then of course tomorrow afternoon for Too Strong. Don't forget, Saturday is our Rumble event. I'll tell you now what my topic is, and it will be abortion. But I am going to give you fair warning that what I'm going to show is the reality of it. We're not just going to talk about numbers. We are going to talk about the actual reality of abortion. Because I think people need to understand it, not from somebody who is not willing to describe in detail and graphic detail what's happening. We need to have that discussion. So that's mine. What was yours again, bro?
There's this place in
Kazakhstan.
That there's this pyramid, this temple to where 200 world leaders meet, but they're alluding it to being the 200 fallen angels.
Gotcha.
It's only 200 seats, and it's this beautiful place, and that they say, and yeah, to discuss that and see what people think about that.
Nice. So anyway, we'll be there. If you want to be back on Friday, Mr. Justice, I'll send you the link. Just let me know in my inbox whenever you want to, unless you know now that you want to be a part of it Friday.
What time is it going to be?
Same time, 6:30. Every
6:30
Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30 Eastern.
Not chill time. Not
6:30 black time. 6:30 white time.
White
time. White people time, because I have my radio show at 9:30
on time,
9:30 Eastern. So yeah, we can.
Normally we only go for an hour. Normally we only go.
I know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'll pull up. I'll pull up.
Yeah. So it'd be good either way. If you do, great. It'll be a great addition. If you don't, we understand. So we'll catch you guys then. Don't forget. Make sure you like, comment, share. Do all of that for our stuff. Like I said, clip it up, put it on TikTok, annoy the mess out of these left-wing clowns, and put them in their place. Speak the truth, speak real history, and don't let them bamboozle you.
Yeah.
Because they bank on you not being able to speak your mind and say what's real and what's true. Don't let them do that to you.
That's right.
Even if you have to insult them, do it and then leave. That's okay. You said your piece. Do like I do. Go deep, cut deep and dip.
Say what you say and mean it.
Dip. There was this one guy, this older black guy. He started calling people names, so I got on screen. He already called me a name straight up. I said, "Okay, listen here. I know your kidneys are failing you. Understand? Because you need that mask and you're in the hospital and you might be on your last leg, but that don't give you the right to insult me. So I'll tell you what. Enjoy death." And I dipped out. See, if you're going, trust me, I can cut deeper than anybody. I got a really good broadsword, and that sucker is always sharp. Y'all ain't seen me cut truly deep yet. I have no off switch, so tread lightly. I might look calm, but I carry a big stick. So we'll catch up with you guys later on this week. We'll catch you in the morning on Straight Talk. We'll see you guys then. Y'all have a grand day. We out.
Right. Peace and love, y'all.